It's time for chocolate stories. Chocolate short stories. Chocolate stories. Chocolate short stories. It's time for chocolate short stories.
That was amazing. I loved every second of that.
Like, it has to have its own specific intro when it's this kind of stream.
It does. I was very surprised. I was like ready for when the music stopped, and then it was like, oh my god, a chocolate short story intro.
Yeah, it's very special. How are you this morning, Catherine?
I am great. How are you, Ms. Wallace?
I am nervous up the wazoo, but that's okay because welcome everybody. This is, I was going to say Spence and Shop Talk, which it is not. It is Chocolate Short Stories, where we write chocolate short stories. Just a quick lowdown. Just a quick lowdown. About 2-3 weeks ago, knowing me, it was probably 3. I did a live stream where with the chat, we came up with, we brainstormed basically for about 2.5 hours, all sorts of ideas for one of my chocolate short stories. And the chocolate short story that we settled upon was The Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay, which, let me go see if I have that. Katie, entertain the audience.
Okay. So I guess I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Katie from Legal. Steve changed my name a couple days ago. And essentially, I have been editing Wallace's short stories since she started this endeavor, this experiment this time, which is very exciting because she trusts me with her work. And now we're going to be editing them live. If you want to know what my credentials are, I do in fact have a literature degree, and I analyzed literature for 4 years. Doesn't mean I'm the end all be all. Still take my critiques with a grain of salt. However, that's me. If you don't know me.
That was the perfect intro, and also that was the perfect explaining of what we're doing here today. And this is the story that we are going to be working on. If you hear very loud white noise coming off in the distance, we're getting our carpets cleaned today, so a little bit bad timing. I apologize for the noise, but that's what's going on. Can you all still hear me? Is it still a good? Okay, cool. But yes, the story that we brainstormed 3 weeks ago was The Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay, with a prompt of: every summer, tourists head to Salt Bay to sample its famous honey, but when they start dropping like flies, could the bees really be to blame? And yeah, so I wanted to just go over quickly. I'm going to share my screen with my original Scrivener document where I had a lot of the brainstorming stuff, just so people can get caught up as to what the audience brainstormed with me a while ago. We won't spend an insane amount of time on that, but I just figured to give everybody a refresh, and so that way you can see what I actually incorporated into the story and what had to be left on the cutting room floor. So let's share screen, window, chocolate library project. Boom. There you go. There she is. So there was a lot of discussion. There was a thought that maybe we were going to do something with pirate bees and that they were protecting some sort of pirate booty treasure. Let's see. Oh, the big one was everybody, when I kept talking about this island, everybody was thinking, oh, the only island I'm imagining is that island you had just been to in your vlog. And what they were referencing was Mackinac Island in Michigan, because I had vlogged from there. And I kind of loved that, this idea of this island that I find so charming and beautiful ending up as a very sinister place, because we eventually decided to kind of, instead of going the more charming, cozy pirate bee side, we went through more like there's a mystery, people are disappearing, are the bees killers, is there a human killer, what's going on, all sorts of stuff, shenanigans, I guess I should say. So let's see what else.
I'd forgotten about the Salt Bay move with the gardener.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So the other thing was, what we ended up doing is we plotted out almost a full 3-act story that would have been very fleshed out and interesting. We would have seen a full progression from whatchamacallit, from like literally the girl arriving on the island all the way multiple days through the festival, and as everything starts to turn bad, and then, you know, everything leading up into the climax and the final confrontation. However, these short stories do have a stipulation in that they are only meant to be 500 words. And there was some talk during last stream that I should expand that for myself and do around 3,000 words. But then, because I knew we were going to be editing it live, I was trying to think about what was going to be manageable to actually edit live during a stream. And so I actually did try and keep it under 500 words. So I have a whole bunch of disclaimers, as I always do whenever I'm with Katie and about to send her something. But the disclaimer for this one is, normally when I'm writing my chocolate short stories, I write kind of the opening scene of something. When it's supposed to be 500 words, I write what I think the opening scene of one of these, if these were a really long short story, almost a novella, how the opening scene would start. But this time what I tried to do was kind of write a scene near the end, and not fully the ending scene, but a scene near the end. And I don't know, what other sort of disclaimer should I give you? Okay, right, like I said, the voice is super different than I normally go for. Oh, and we were talking about this backstage, but we decided to hold off on a decision because we wanted the audience to put input. So it's around 500 words, and let me think. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So it's around 500 words. And initially I was thinking I was going to read it out loud while it was also up on screen. So that way people could hear the voice that I was kind of going for. However, on the opposite end, Katie suggested that she could read it out loud. So that way me reading it I don't bias the tone, right? Because I know how I want it to be read. And so I would read it that way, obviously. Whereas Katie will read it and see if that tone actually comes across in the way I've written it. And so we want the audience or the chat to let us know, should I, Wallace, read it, or should Katie read it, and basically vote, and whichever comes up with the most votes will win.
Yeah.
But yeah, while you guys are voting on that, we'll say hi to everybody, if that's
also,
yeah.
Just here to let everyone know, I have not read the story yet. We decided going in that I would, basically this is the first time that I'm going to be reading it, so that you get like the authentic experience of me reading it for the first time, like I would do normally if Wallace had sent it to me.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite disclaimers Wallace has sent me is, this is what did you say? This is a first draft. Please do not judge me. Every time without fail, that is her first line of, please don't judge me this first draft.
Please don't judge me. And I say it with extra emphasis this time around because it's really in a voice that I don't normally explore in. So please just, and that's the exciting thing. That also takes the pressure off a bit, is that this is a first draft. You could read it and be like, oh, I don't think this is it. Let's come up with a totally different scene to explore. And if we have time, we can do that. Yeah. Miranda is here. Miranda, I hope you are not disappointed by what I have decided to do. Violet is here. Hi with the little bees. Michael is here. Still only about half an hour into Wallace's first vid, but I promise I'll finish it in the meantime. Wait, what? My first video was...
It's probably the live stream.
First stream. Oh, of course. I was thinking he was thinking about my AuthorTube intro, and I was like, that was only 10 minutes long. Also, total tangent, but sometime in that video, I go, oh, this is a really long video. Again, only 10 minutes long.
It's like if past Wallace could see this book is for October video.
Horrified. I'm glad everybody appreciated the intro. Thank you. I worked really hard on it. I am drinking an Earl Grey tea with half and half because I couldn't find milk, and 1 cube of brown sugar. So that's what I'm drinking. What are you drinking, Katie?
I am drinking an iced coffee, just regular old iced coffee.
Excellent. Hi, Laura. How are you? And don't keep your bee hoard to yourself. That's another thing, is this was meant to be not just a collaborative project, but a group project, I guess, where everybody could write their own version of the prompt. So please, if you explored Salt Bae on your own, let us know how it went for you and share that with us. Hi, Brenna. Welcome. Chat, I'm ready for some bee, salt, and honey puns today. There might be some, the related puns in the story. There might just be one. I don't know if we should talk about this beforehand, but I had this sort of envision of how funny it would be if slowly over the course of 500 words, just bees and like buzzing and stuff, the author just started, the protagonist, the narrator just started like becoming a little more bee-like. I was like, I don't know, that would be kind of stupid. So I shied away from that, but also that would have been pretty camp. And I think,
well, there's like two routes you could go. Like you can go more serious, and then there is a camp route that you can go. Both are valid.
I will say this. I think like from all of the discussions that were had during the live stream a few weeks ago, they were all very campy, right? Pirates and bees, people turning into bees, everything like that. I went more camp route. I don't think I went full camp, but that's kind of, not to bias you a little bit, but if you're the person who's going to end up reading this, know that I went for more of a camp type of vibe. So, okay, so we have Katie should read it. I'm literally typing, has Katie read it yet? I vote Katie reads. Oh my gosh. Danny says, hi friends, I'm late, but I'm here. Oh no, fire alarm went off and the apartment manager waited until after everyone evacuated to tell us it was just a test. Oh. Well, better to have evacuated than not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody is saying Katie. Which is hilarious because I practiced reading it aloud so many times.
I'm sad.
No, but it's good. I really think that's a better choice, honestly, because I think that'll show me if the vibe is coming across. Thank you, Miranda.
Also, Violet, I love this so much. I changed my name to this because this is exactly what in my life. It's flawless.
That's so cute. Yes, this is I wanted this mug forever. It was always sold out because it started the NaNoWriMo after I started doing AuthorTube, so it wasn't really readily available. And then randomly one day I was on the Nano website and they had some in stock and I was like, boop, boop, and the shipping cost more than the mug. And I was like, what the hell? There was, I don't know if you, Miranda, I know you were there for the last stream, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were, but I don't know if you remember, but there was a point at which we were getting severely close to the plot of the B movie. And I was like, let's walk it back. Let's walk it back, please.
No B movie. No B movie.
Hi. Welcome. Hi. All right. Are you ready for this?
Are you? Are you ready for this?
Absolutely not, but that's okay. Okay.
But like I said, this is a safe space. We're all Wallace fans.
Yes, that's a good point. Okay. Sharing it with your email address right now. This is how you know it's legitimate. I haven't even shared it with her yet.
Yeah, it literally hasn't. We are buzzing with it.
Wait.
I am too, Laura.
Is my name going to show up on this if I comment on it? Because I'm doing the email that's my full name.
Yeah, probably.
Ew. Whatever.
I was not thinking this through.
Yeah, wait. Hold up.
Do you have another account you can use that's just Wallissimo?
No, I don't. Well, okay, I won't comment on this version.
Okay.
But because I'll just be right here to respond to your comments. How about that?
There we go.
Okay.
Just can't comment on it.
Just can't comment on it.
It's the true authentic experience because like you shouldn't be commenting on it anyway until I'm done.
That's true. Although it's not usually this is a little inauthentic or non-normal because I'm usually not there when you're first making your edits. And by not there, I mean you're not having to look at me. I am there. I'm in the document as she's making her edits because I am like, what did she say?
This is true. This is true.
You know.
And I really don't care. I'm like, yeah, let's have a conversation about this because it's fresh on my brain. I leave really long comments, so this stream could get unreasonably long.
But that's okay. Do you have it?
There it is.
All right.
Let me open
can I make it bigger? Should we make it full screen while you're reading it, or should we have our faces on? Oh, well, let's keep our faces. That's fine.
There I am.
There you are. How do I make this bigger for people, though? Hold on. Can I zoom in? Did that zoom it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Awesome. Hold on. Okay, cool. You ready?
I am.
And wait, hold up. What's your process? Are you going to read it first all the way through and then start leaving comments? Or are you going to leave comments as you read?
No, I always like to read it first once straight through without, because before, so this is actually a little bit in my process with editing. I sometimes, depending on what story it is, I'll leave comments as I start. But I've realized sometimes when I leave comments, they're resolved later on, and then I'm like, oh, why did I leave this comment now? Like, it's irrelevant because this happened. So I started to read fully through and then go through and comment.
Can we appreciate Laura carrying this stream right now with her bee puns? We are buzzing with anticipation. Look at that hovering cursor ready to pollinate the text with comments. All right. At your leisure, Catherine.
Are we ready?
Let's do it. Oh my God.
Let's do it. Hell is a virus. Oh boy. Oh!
Yep.
Clearly showing off my reading comprehension.
You got that.
This again. Take 2. Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie. This has been my life's most sacred dogma ever since I was 9 and my mother mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay. And to be perfectly honest, the past 3 days have only reinforced my bias against the island. I know Isla meant well when she suggested we come for the festival. She wanted me to find closure after nearly 2 decades, say a final goodbye to my mom. But personally, I think it's a little unfair the amount of crap I've had to go through for the sake of closure. I crossed the lake on the same night I crossed the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of. I slept in a B&B with an itchy, frilly duvet covers that kept me awake all night. I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was innocent. Processing that one's definitely going to take a while. Sorry. Oh yeah, and I can't forget 30 minutes ago, when all the creepy villagers randomly exploded into millions of bees like some insane David Cronenberg movie. Violent group metamorphosis by the Quad was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily newsletter. I checked. But I still stand by the fact that, despite all I've done and witnessed, the real horror of this place is just how much goddamn honey there is everywhere. It's in the fudge and the bonbons, inside the brightly lit candy stores on Main Street. It's stirred in the tea at all the restaurants. It's even in the complimentary skincare products in my bathroom at the bed and breakfast. Truly hell on earth. Because I hate honey. I always have. And thank God, too, because it's the honey that's turning these tourists into drones. I'm sure of it. Why else would every single person at the freaking honey festival end up Franz Kafka, except for the one girl who refuses to eat the sticky sick of bees? And now I'm the only real human left. Again, sorry about that. It's kill or be killed. I know what I have to do. The violet fields need to be burnt. No more flowers means no more bees. The only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit and is currently waiting for me to come out of hiding. Beatrice. I'm annoyed I didn't see through her sooner. With a name like that, I'd fallen too easily for her frail, elderly woman act. But if I can keep her human, I might just have the upper hand. Like some weird hypothetical mind game. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Would you rather be attacked by one evil grandma with a shotgun or nearly a million beans formed into the evil grandma's flesh? Neither sounds that great, actually. I could have left. I'm a decent swimmer. I could have flung myself into the lake and swam to Canada. But they took Isla. And at this point, I'm pretty sure they took my mom 20 years ago, too. So screw closure. I want revenge.
Yay! There it is. I think you did so well. I'm excited because I feel like the tone came across then. I know I kind of preempted it with it's camp, but I think that was good. That was reaffirming that at least the tone comes across.
It does. It really does. And I think it's really evident by the first line, which is a killer opening line. Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie.
Thank you.
How brilliant.
Oh. I'm gonna just give pointless little pieces of history as you talk about it, but that first line, I was gonna say Lake Huron because I was gonna make it as close to Mackinac Island as possible, but then I was like, no, we're gonna pick a different Great Lake because to just differentiate it a little bit. And also I think Erie is also fun because it's meant to be kind of an eerie but campy story. So there you go.
I will also say that Erie also was like uninhabitable. Like Lake Erie was like real, like fucked up a while back until they actually went and cleaned it up, and like the beaches were covered in like pollution and stuff. So
God, look at you. That's amazing, just pulling Lake Erie facts.
well, I do live in Pennsylvania, girl. I live like 4 hours from Erie.
Good call. So yeah, then it totally would make sense that there's this mysterious community of human/amorphous bees.
Yeah, and maybe that's like why they're doing this, because they've been affected by the pollution.
Yeah.
I will say though, just for accuracy, Erie is spelled without the E. It's only
Fantastic. We love it. Thank you.
Anyway. Oh, and there's Miranda's comment.
She got it.
She got it there.
And that's the other thing. Please, everybody, let's not just have Katie giving critique and comment. Like, if you see a line that you think is overwritten or needs different words, put in your own edits, and we will consider and discuss them. So, yeah.
So that's one of the ones where it's like, if you want to go for like actually setting it in a real place, totally fine. But it's also could be like not a fantastical place, but like not a real place exactly, but still gives the vibes of Lake Erie.
How do you know that the lake I was writing wasn't a fantastical place called Lake Erie, but spelled with 2 E's? That was often presumptuous of you, except for you literally said, it's not Lake Huron, it's Lake Erie.
Oh, it just works like that. Oh my God.
Okay, so what is your process? Would you like some time to just do edits? Do you want to talk through as you do your edits? Because we could like do a sprint while you edit. I could respond to comments while you edit. What's going to make you the most comfortable and the most willing to like actually critique me and not just be super sweet?
Let me think. Sorry, while my brain.
You consider that, and I'm going to answer this question from Danny. So, yes, we had a whole discussion last time about names, and it's never stated, but the main character, the protagonist's name is Melissa because that is derived from the ancient Greek word for bee. And then someone said, "Oh, you should name the best friend Isla because it's on an island." And when I was writing this, and when I was reading it out loud last night, I did notice that it was a little awkward having my bias against the island. And then in the immediate next paragraph, I know Isla meant well. So someone suggested that the best friend's name could be Lacey, or that we could name her something totally else. So I'm up for suggestions on changing the best friend's name. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I think right now it's 522, I think, if my Scrivener count is accurate. Let me go into the Peculiar Bay. Yes, it's 522. So we need to theoretically cut 22 words. So you could cut the middle of Hell is a violet-covered island in Lake Erie. Which one do you prefer, Katie? Hell is a violet-covered island in Lake Erie.
In Lake Erie.
I think
in the middle. I feel like it's in the middle of Lake Erie. Makes it seem.
It gives it just a little bit more, I don't know, cadence. I don't know what the word is there. But we could. Oh, this is a thought. Since we never say the protagonist's name, I love it. Let's do that.
There we go.
Will you make those changes for me?
Yes. Oh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, right. Wait. Do you want to share your screen since you're going to be the one making edits and controlling?
Oh, there we go.
Let's do that.
Let's do this. Hold on. Let me just actually try to figure out how. There we go. Share screen, Chrome tab, Salt Bay.
And a stream. There we go.
So I'm just going through, and obviously we only mentioned Isla twice. So
yeah. Sorry. Clearly she's very important. Hey, I feel like twice in 500 words is actually legitimate.
Actually kind of a lot.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I think the Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie has this cadence to it, and it also gives the impression of a kind of isolation of an island entirely surrounded,
Yeah, it's disguised better if it's further away from the world. There are a couple of people saying that they prefer that rhythm. So I think we'll keep it, but that is a good thing to keep in mind is anytime there's excess wording that I can just get rid of and it'll keep the same basic meaning of the sentence, that could be helpful since we're trying to get rid of 22 words.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and good, Michael. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. I'm liking it. I think
This is fun. This is really fun. So I guess
100% Violet, by the way. Yes. I know a lot of people hate on this song from Evermore, but I love Closure. I think it's one of my favorite songs on Evermore. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying, Katie?
No, I want to know what the chat wants, whether they want me. Oh, whoops. Okay. Thank you.
See you, Miranda. Oh, I'll just pop out of it. How about that?
Oh, there you
go. Boop. No, I'm gone.
There she goes. She's gone. Anyway, I was going to ask chat if they would prefer me to go through it, editing it out loud. It'll probably take longer. My thoughts will be less cohesive at times. Or if we want to do a sprint and I can edit it and then we can come back and talk about it. I feel like it should be up to chat because I'm really good with either. It's really just about how you would like to see me either be really cohesive with what I'm saying or kind of fleshing it out more and seeing my brain.
Thank you. Brenna, I will have you know that I literally yesterday when I was putting on finishing touches and stuff, I looked up how to turn a name into a verb and I could not find a good answer. So I just kind of made it up. But okay, so Laura says out loud. Miranda says that works. Nothing happened, but I wanted. Oh, right. Oh. That's about the. Thank you for warning us. That was a very important warning. So we have one vote for out loud. What do you really think you're neutral either way?
I'm neutral either way. It's really because for me, this exercise is both, and also like what's going to help you the most.
My thing is obviously I want honest feedback, and I know you will be honest, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes if we're talking face to face and you feel observed, that I don't know if it would affect how honest you are or not. I think in reality, I would prefer to just talk everything through, but ultimately I prefer the edits to be as honest as possible. So if you think based off of that, you can make your decision, I guess.
This is so difficult.
Miranda says you can make the edits so you can think about them and then come back and talk them through, ?
Yeah, that's what the second option was. Because obviously I'm not just going to make the edits and then just like sit here and not explain them.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's more succinct than what I think I tried to explain.
Let's just go through it and just chat.
Yeah, sure. All right, let's do it. So yeah, Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie. Perfect. I would not change a single thing about it.
Oh, fun.
This has been my life's most sacred dogma ever since I was 9 and my mother mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay. Personally, I do not think we need the ever since I was 9 and my mother mysteriously died. I think we can change it to ever since my mother mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay.
Ooh, interesting. And especially because later on we get that it's been 2 decades. Didn't I say that?
Yes. That's what I was going to say. It's like 2 decades later, we get basically what the narrator's age is. The difference between 20 and 29 is not super big when it comes to 500 words.
Yeah.
So I feel like the being 9 doesn't necessarily need to be explained in this sentence particularly.
No, I like that. I agree. You can just resolve that.
There we go. And I also want to keep, this is like the most important part of the sentence.
Okay.
So I think having that extra part of it just bogs down the main punch of it, which is mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay.
Yeah.
That's like the inciting incident that happened 20 years ago that leads us to now. And is the reason also why Hell is a violet-covered island, at least now for the reader. I really like Most Sacred Dogma. Such a great way of saying it.
Oh, wait. What? Sorry?
Such a great way of saying it.
Oh,
and like,
thank you.
Some pizzazz. It gives the reader instantly knows what kind of character they're dealing with. Someone who's obviously of high intelligence, but is clearly very sarcastic and is, kind of fed up fed up, essentially. It's a reflection backwards on their life thus far.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some interesting things doing with the fact that they're explaining this to the reader, but also giving context for it while still maintaining their personality. Because you easily could have said, I've hated this island ever since my mother mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay. Gives kind of the same thing, but the sacred dogma gives more to the revenge aspect that circles back around later.
Excellent.
Don't mind me just putting my degree to good use.
Just keep doing it because I love it. I love hearing all the, it's great when obviously it's totally new insight. It's also great when your insight completely matched up with my authorial intent. And I'm like, excellent. That came across. That makes me feel so validated. So fantastic.
That's my job. So next sentence, and to be perfectly honest, the past 3 days have only reinforced my bias against the island. I liked that, and to be perfectly honest, again, you're keeping your sassy narrator. Oh my God, Alexa, stop! I didn't even say her name. Why did she say?
It's 10. It's time. Take your medicine.
She's like, I didn't quite understand that.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
If she does it again, I'll unplug her.
Okay.
That is a threat. Alexa,
feedback. She's like, personally, I think the sentence is a little too wordy.
Alexa, stop. I did say her name that time, so I won't unplug her. Anyway, I love the sassy narrator. It gives us that. My issue here with the sentence, reinforce my bias against the island. I think this needs to be rephrased because it's very clinical.
Fair enough.
Reinforced, which, makes sense for you because you are a scientist.
I know, I get that all the time. It's like, this sentence is too clinical. Sorry, this is a total tangent, but I once had someone reread the first chapter of Project EC, and there was a sentence that they highlighted, and they're like, ooh, this was chilling. It makes me feel like the main character is a psychopath by how clinically they're observing this like traumatic event. And I was like, oh my God. I had to take some intense self-reflection after that. I was like, oh, wow. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so what about it? Is it the word bias? Like, what about it feels clinical to you?
It's the phrase reinforced my bias. So it's specifically bias, but it's also the word reinforced. It kind of gives this, I don't know how to describe it exactly.
How about the past 3 days have only supported my data against
which here's the thing. It would work really well if you were going for a very analytical story. And that's like,
but that's not what's going on here.
That's what's going on. And that's part of like your edits is like making sure like there's nothing grammatically or wording wrong with this sentence. I think if your narrator is a different person, it is perfect.
Wait, I'm sorry. That was straight up a bad. This is grammatically correct, but
but it's wordy and
it's confusing. That was amazing. That was awesome.
I do like the suggestion cemented.
But what about instead of bias, we go with hatred? Would that be too like, or like another word against bias? Because I think bias is another very scientific word.
Bias is a scientific word, which is why I was also going to change this one.
Okay. I was going to read that as my against the island.
Hatred is a little bit strong, and I think you want to keep those strong emotions for the end because you want to be constantly building towards it.
Disgust. That's still pretty strong.
That's pretty strong. Let's go with
But then I also say most sacred dogma, which is pretty,
most sacred dogma is more pretentious.
Okay, fair enough.
Whereas reinforce my bias is more like analytical scientist. Like,
ooh, that's so interesting. Are the two different?
In my opinion, yes. So
okay.
It depends. So reinforce my bias doesn't have the same snap and sass as sacred dogma.
Okay.
When I say my life's most sacred dogma, like I know I'm fucking smarter than you. When I say reinforce my bias, like yes, that can mean the same thing, but it doesn't quite have the snap that I want from it. Like it's got to click.
Do you even think that, well, I feel like, I was going to say, do we feel like this sentence is even necessary? But I think it is, because I think it also places us in context of time, that this character has been here for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I think we do need it, or need something like that to tag on to the end of this opening paragraph.
Yeah. Because our first sentence is putting us in the setting. Our second sentence is putting us there. And then our third sentence is really pushing us into the exact setting that we're in.
So we have some suggestions. We have, it could be cemented either my opinion against the island or cemented my feelings against the island. I'm kind of leaning towards opinion.
I'm kind of too.
Okay.
Opinion kind of feels, like Danny said, it does feel more personal. Also, hi, Caitlin. My opinion against.
And also, I feel like feelings has a vagueness to it, and opinion is still vague, but it's an actual thing. Like your opinion is an actual thing, right? You can have a negative opinion or a positive opinion, but the opinion in itself is a specific thing. Whereas feelings, you're like, well, which feeling is it? Is it cemented your annoyance, your anger, your da-da-da? You know, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does. And especially since this character has very particular language in the way that they describe the island. Opinion rings more pretentious than calculated.
So we considered hatred, Miranda, but we felt like maybe it was too extreme right off the start, because we want there to be kind of an emotional buildup of, like, you know, it's meant to just be, oh, why does she not like this island? Oh, she has some trauma related to it, and she's annoyed that she has to go there. Oh, wait, did she just say she killed someone? Like, it's meant to be, there's meant to be a ramp up, even though her tone never really ramps up. I mean, so like her way of talking never really ramps up, but I think Katie's right in that there needs to be a ramp up in the word she's using to imply, what's the word? Escalation.
Stakes. Tension,
yeah.
All those things. That's an interesting point, Tara. I'm thinking about that.
Look, here's the thing about me.
This should have been an earlier disclaimer.
This should have. Passive voice is my most favorite thing, girl. Or Tara, I love passive voice. How do you think this sentence reads? Do you think it's... Hold on. I feel like the sentence is in passive voice, and we need to say something more along the lines of, I've only been on this island for X many days, and I hate it.
I think that is a good suggestion of an edit. However, for me personally, and again, like I said at the beginning, I don't know if you were here, Tara, take my opinions with a grain of salt. I have only one voice and only one opinion. This is a completely valid critique, and I've been thinking about it. We could work it in to be a more actionable voice. However, we're still currently in the reflection back as opposed to actionably talking about it. Like, if this was at the end when she's talking about confronting grandma, then we could probably work in some more actionable things, because we're closer to what's actually happening in the current moment. This is more of like, you know, it's the moment of, I think when we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, you're probably wondering how I got here.
Exactly.
This is what's happening. It's that, okay?
Hi, so my name's Ryan, and my life is pretty crazy.
So I think, disdain.
I also really like disdain. Do you think that's too powerful?
I think it depends on if you want to reveal how much she dislikes this island so early.
But I feel like disdain is good because, I mean, she's literally, it's a little pretentious of a word, right? It's like my disdain. And we've already established that she's pretentious because she's saying that this is hell, right? It is hell, and that is my most sacred dogma. I like disdain. I vote disdain.
Okay, let's change to disdain then.
Thank you, Agul Crates. That was the perfect word.
There we go.
This is also true. Sometimes passive voice is voicey, but I have to be very careful because it is my preferred voice to write in, which, Lord have mercy on all my editors. But yes, I think it can be voicey. I don't think I've been educated in the way to know the distinction. So I need people like Tara to call me out when I'm being unnecessarily passive.
Yes. And if this wasn't as voicey as it is, and if it wasn't at the beginning, I think I would go more with the changing it to be more actionable. But considering the things I said earlier, I think it's fine personally.
Cool. And we also have some people going for either resentment, bitterness, resentment. I do like the bitterness could also be a contrast with the honey, like sweetness. I love that. But I really feel like disdain is the perfect word. Yeah. I think Book Creates nailed it. So
it's disdain is like, it's such a highbrow, like, oh, I disdain this.
Exactly. Like it's a test.
Her.
It's
yes.
almost like the test. Yes.
Like it is so beneath her. Like the fact that she's here is so like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very that. All right, next sentence.
Well, first of all, my question is do you feel like, I mean, it's only two, from a structure standpoint, it's only 2 sentences and I've already knocked down into a new paragraph. I don't know if that's necessary or not. So from a formatting standpoint, I'd love to know if it needs to just be 1 paragraph.
No, I think that works as its own paragraph, mostly because we're going into a new area. Like we're talking about something completely different. We're starting to move with actual events that happened in the past as opposed to setting up the stakes, essentially.
Okay.
So, because like I knew Melissa meant well when she suggested we come for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
That's a completely different thought. That it does obviously clearly relates to the rest of it,
right?
But it is not. It doesn't hang out. It doesn't interconnect. I just did. Anyway, interconnect with the previous sentence, timeline-wise. So the first paragraph's more like, just floating in the ether, drawing in the reader, giving context. This first sentence absolutely places that character, the reader, into what the character is experiencing in this moment. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You're so smart. Hold on, I'm going to put up the prompt on the I'm going to put up the prompt as a banner. I'm hoping it won't cover your screen share. Just so that people, perfect. That way people coming in at least have reference for what we are talking about. All right.
So yes, I know Melissa meant well when she suggested we come for the festival. You don't need a comma there.
Perfect. That's also another, I have horrible comma placement.
Yeah. So. That's another thing about me though, too, is I do content and developmental and grammatical and all those kinds of things in short stories all together.
Mm-hmm.
So
she is like 3 for the price of 1 and the price is free. Ha.
It is.
Michael, just FYI, this is not a sprinting session. There was an option for sprinting right at the start if Katie felt like she needed a sprint to get all of her edits in, but instead we're going to just walk through and I'm going to listen to her critique and edit as we go. So there will be no sprints, just FYI.
Yeah. Sorry, people. You have to listen to my voice the entire time.
I did say that in the description of the video.
It does. The price is friendship, Miranda.
My God, sometimes I question. Sometimes
you really should, considering how much I fucking talk.
Yeah, if this was me, I'm not the only talkative bitch out here, man.
Y'all will learn. I will easily fill up 3 hours of discussing a 500-word story. Like, trust me.
It's like everything I could ever want, though. So.
You can imagine what kind of student I was in my literature debate, in my literature classes. Like, you could not shut me up. Yes, we do powering through.
Powering through, man. But you guys feel free to just like do your own writing as we're chatting in the background, or just leaving.
Yeah.
No, please don't leave. I need your feedback.
Yeah. This is and it's I really like this because it's easier. And this is a tangent anyway, but
go for it.
I think a lot of times with AuthorTube, and I'm saying this because I know a lot of people here are AuthorTubers, that it's difficult to talk about the writing process because we cannot actually physically see what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I can just be like, oh, well, I'm revising The Wrath King today. I can't show you my pages and tell you how I'm revising it. One, because no one has the full context of the story unless you've read it, and literally only 4 people have read it in the entire universe. One of them being right there. And so I think this is a great exercise in giving like a lesson in how editing works, or like one style of editing. Obviously, again, I am not the end all be all of editing. However, I have had the privilege of being able to go to college and get a degree and actually learn from professors and have practical practice doing this. So it's nice, and I'm really glad that we get to do this and that you're sharing this with us, and like sharing it for people who may not, know what to do or know how to fix their own work. And if this helps even one person, or even is just entertaining, because if I do say so myself, we're really funny.
Okay, that's awesome. My thing is like I tend to get so inspired watching people and reading other people's work and talking about the revision creative process. So if I have no advice, technical advice, obviously, because I'm on the receiving end of all of your technical advice, but if I feel like if watching a stream like this inspires somebody to get their words in for the day, then that's the goal has been achieved. Also, that I can finally freaking post another chocolate short story to Instagram, because it's been 3 months.
Oop.
Oop.
And oop.
All right.
Anyway, back to the actual reason why we're all here instead of my rambling tangents.
Not tangents, as we all know, are not allowed on the Wallissimo channel. We only stay in our lane the entire time.
Literally just one lane.
Yeah.
No AI.
No.
Okay, back on track. I know Melissa meant well when she suggested we come for the festival. I think this sentence is a little bit vague.
Oh, interesting.
Like we could bump it up and give some more personality, some more sass. Because right now, this is, I personally, and I know the people in the chat, understand that the festival is taking place on the island.
Yeah.
We already discussed this. However, looking at this is like trying to distance myself from what I know of the story already. One, because I was there in the chat when you were working on it, and two, I already read it once.
Right.
The festival and the island are not directly interconnected at this moment. So where the reader can infer, and obviously I'm assuming most readers will infer that the festival is on the island.
Right.
But since this sentence isn't super giving us any snap, any sass, any character development, I think it could be reworked to fit better with what you're trying to achieve.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You know what I mean? So yes. I do not think we need to just like disclaim who Melissa is. That's fine. That's not the issue here.
Okay.
I know Melissa meant well. I think that's perfectly fine. When she suggests we come for the festival.
I mean, are you just saying that we need just more information here? Like, should we say we come for Salt Bay's annual honey festival? Like, what kind of? Can you give me examples of what you're looking for?
What I think you should do is completely get rid of this and actually add it to that sentence. So I know Melissa meant well when she wanted me to find closure after nearly 2 decades.
Ooh,
because it relates back to the mother mysteriously drowning in the bay.
Yes.
So in this part, obviously remains the pronoun there remains.
Yes.
It actually gives the context of the closure for the mother mysteriously drowning. Say a final goodbye to my mom. Say a final goodbye to mom should be capitalized if it's the personal pronoun, or not personal pronoun.
So here's my interjection, is that the last sentence of this little snippet, I think it's personally, I think it's a little unfair, the amount of crap I've had to go through for the sake of closure. I think it's important to establish where we are by this point, but I also don't want to break up the fact that Melissa wanted us to find closure and how that closure is going to occur, and then that quippy little last sentence. And I feel like if we put in the festival in between, like say a final goodbye to mom by, maybe that's how we do it. We could say a final goodbye to mom by attending the Salt Bay Honey Festival. What about like that? I don't know. That's just a suggestion, but
because I don't know if you want to do this, but we could kind of try to work in the fact that her mom really liked going to this festival and she loved the honey.
okay. By going to
Say final goodbye to mom. This is just spitballing here. Where it's like basically going to the festival and getting her favorite honey, like as a closure moment, because or something similar. You understand what I mean? Like I'm trying to.
What about when up here where we could set up that it's the festival in the previous paragraph instead?
There we go. And to be perfectly honest, the past 3 days. Yeah, so we could do something here. I also was wondering if this should go further up to explain the truly hell on earth and like giving the honey context should go above everything else.
Well, but then it leads into why she's been saved.
That's true. You're right.
Sorry, this is also part of the process, just long staring, considering. The past 3 days have only cemented my disdain against the island. And this. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Infernal Honey Festival?
No, I wasn't going to say infernal, but I was going to say like this like godforsaken, something. I like infernal though.
Because hell.
But instead of the island and the Infernal Honey Festival, I think the island and this Infernal Honey Festival. What do you think about that?
Fair Infernal Honey Festival?
No, because there would be applying to the island, and wouldn't it? And it would be like, and it's Infernal Honey Festival.
Unless you want to personify the island.
It wouldn't be a whatchamacallit.
Sorry, that's my writing vice is I never know when to put the apostrophe S. I always have to like think it is.
The past 3 days have only cemented my disdain against the island and its Infernal Honey Festival. So here's the reason why I wanted to say this Infernal Honey Festival instead of its is because I kind of want you to make this discovery on your own, and maybe you've already made it, but can we just put a placeholder in this and then eventually discuss why I want it to be that? Okay.
Yes, hold on. Excuse me. Please let me add a comment. No. Okay, I'm just going to put a comment here. Hold on.
Putting this
in these. That's what we always say. We're like, let's put a pin in it and come back.
Yeah.
Pin in it and come back. Perfect.
So,
that's also part of the editing process. Going front and backwards and up and down and side to side and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yes.
We're very
I gotta read it. Will you scroll up?
Yes.
So, and to be perfectly honest, the past 3 days have only cemented my disdain against the island and this Infernal Honey Festival. I know Melissa meant well when she wanted me to find closure after nearly 2 decades. Say a final goodbye to mom and then like a little bit of an addendum at the end. Say a final goodbye to mom and then further explanation by coming to Salt Bay or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that's too much?
I think this could work. I think it's dependent. Let me think. Say a final goodbye to mom. Maybe, like, do you want to talk about how her mom actually loved this island as kind of a contrast to her own feelings towards honey and the island?
Yeah, because the closure is both about saying goodbye to mom, but also kind of facing the fear of coming to the place where she died.
Yeah.
Or was she delivered? Because technically she lives on.
Yeah, she's just a million bees.
It's just a million bees.
She is just a lot of bees.
A lot of bees. There's a thing in Dungeons and Dragons that's like literally called just a bag of bees, and
It's just her mom.
it's just her mom.
Oh.
I don't know. What do you think?
It's like kind of like what about a mom, and I don't know. Do you want to be like and prove that a island can't scare me off, or like prove I'm worth my salt?
Hold up though. I want to be careful about stating a thing of intent, because then our next sentence addresses the fact that the intent was to find closure. So I think it'd be strange if we were going, but say find a goodbye to mom and prove that I can face this island, and then, but personally I think it's a little unfair the amount of crap I've had to go through for sake of facing the island. But I want it to be for closure in order to make that final sentence still be the punch.
I do agree.
I know Melissa meant well when she wanted me to find closure after nearly 2 decades.
I don't even know if we need this sentence.
Say final goodbye to mom.
Yeah, let's read it
Okay.
without.
But what about somebody? I want to incorporate this from Miranda because I really like dragged instead of. I like the idea of us including somewhere that Melissa has dragged our protagonist out here.
Yeah.
And I know Melissa meant well. She wanted me to. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning back towards re-including that initial phrase that you cut out. But I think it should be before this, because I kind of like that we have our statement of intent, right? Find closure. And then the next sentence directly relates to that. That was something I was struggling with when I was writing it, was that I had my statement of intent and then I had this like other little thing. Because the saying goodbye to mom, right, is what the closure is meant to be. I'm trying to clarify that.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting though, because you put closure in quotes here. Find closure.
Uh-huh.
As if the character itself is like, she doesn't believe
Yeah.
in finding closure.
I think that's legitimate. Well, also I think, she's looking back on this whole journey through the lens of everything she's experienced in the past 3 days. And so she's very cynical at this point. And it could have been that she was hesitant, and I think she probably was a little, is reticent a word?
I think it is. I'm not sure what it means.
I feel like I don't know what it means either, to be honest.
Not revealing one's thoughts or feelings readily.
Definitely not what I wanted to say.
It did feel right though. Sometimes words just feel correct.
What's a word? The word that starts with R, but it kind of also means hesitant, not reserved, but whatever. That doesn't matter. She's a little unsure about coming back, but I think it's only through thank you, reluctant. Miranda, you are like coming in clutch, babe. So shoot, I had an idea. Now it's flitted away. I know Melissa meant well when, instead of she wanted me to find closure after nearly 2 decades, I like Miranda's suggestion when she dragged me here to find, dragged me here.
Yeah, dragged me here. That's what I was thinking. Yep, we were right there.
Yep. To find closure. And then I feel like that then sets place, right?
Yes, it does.
Because we've spent the previous paragraph talking about Salt Bay and this island that she hated, and then as soon as we say when she dragged me here,
yes,
I think that's perfect, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I think when she dragged me here, and also it gets rid of the wanted, which I was going to also mention because we were working on these sentences, that it is a little bit it's not a strong verb.
Yeah.
And you know me, that you have seen this comment from me so many times. Yes. Give me a strong verb.
No, I'm so bad at it. I'm so glad.
I'm a slut for a strong verb.
What is strength? I don't know anything about strength. In my mind, everybody's just like, oh, you can do this if you want to. It's your choice, though, doll.
And sometimes that works. If you have a really passive character, once would work. However, this character has clearly shown that she does not want to be here. She is reluctant. And of course,
she would have had...
It's like, come here, bitch.
Yeah, she would have had to have been dragged, basically. Yeah. Okay, let's read it. I know Melissa meant well when she dragged me here to find closure after nearly 2 decades. Oh, I think it's perfect. Say a final goodbye to mom. What do you think? That interjection is still a little unnecessary? What do you think?
I actually really like this because this almost feels sarcastic now. Say a final goodbye to mom. But personally, I think it's a little unfair, the crap I've had to go through for the sake of closure.
Okay.
Like, it does, I think, fit. I also don't know if you intended this, but is Melissa should be her sister.
I consider that, but then that's really depressing because I have sisters.
Listen, I know.
And I'm like, I don't think this chick should have to lose. Not that losing your best friend is ever good, but like, she's already lost a family member. And I think not that that's more tragic, it's just a different flavor of tragedy when it's literally just her friend being a good friend, right? Her friend had no skin in the game and still lost, right? Because even though she was a good friend and she was like, hey, I can tell this is something you need to do, find closure, I'll go with you and support you through the process. And then she gets turned into a million bees. And like it's, to me, it's more, if it's her sister, there could be, it's less of a selfless act. Not that trying to find closure is selfish, but it's also the sister has skin in the game, right? She's like, I want to go find closure with mom. Will you come with me? We need to do this together. You know?
That's true.
Does that make sense?
It does. And I know you don't ever it is a great turn of phrase.
Thank you.
And I know this doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but like also, you know.
Yeah.
And this is just my thought process and what I was thinking when I was reading it is the use of mom here and then mother here. Mother is then, this is more distanced from mom because mom's a personal pronoun.
Right.
Is that what it's called? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So when I read Say a Final Goodbye to Mom, it almost reads as if Melissa is also talking to mom.
Yes.
However, it does not really matter because we never get full disclosure of exactly what the relationship to Melissa is. So I think it can work either way with the ambiguity. I was just bringing it up as a question of like, did you intend for them to be sisters or friends? What's your authorial intent?
Yeah, my authorial intent is that they're very close friends. But when I wrote that sentence, I recognized that it would be ambiguous. I just wasn't sure how to resolve that. And I could say a final goodbye to my mom, but I feel like that loses the punch of the sentence a little bit. Because like you said, it goes back with a little bit of a sarcastic, say a final goodbye to mom, as opposed to say a final goodbye to my mom. I don't know why, but it just doesn't punch the same, I feel like.
Yeah. I think it doesn't, I think it works emotionally here as well as setting up what the characters' feelings about it are, especially because we've now, with this nice strong verb here that Miranda gave us, gives what the character is feeling about coming to the island. And that she felt like this before she actually experienced being on the island. She did not want to come before she went, and now that she's here, she is really fucking mad that she came.
Yeah.
Everyone is pleased.
Yeah. And Miranda, this is my one thing of like, this is my one claim arguing that there's very, very subtle subtext that they aren't sisters, because I would have said our mom if they had been sisters. But since they're just friends, I never refer to it as like their mom or our mom.
Yeah. So. But I also, if you had put our mom here, and that's what route you were going theoretically, I would have advised to take it out anyway.
Okay.
Because our combines the two characters, what they want. And this story is very clearly just about what the main character wants.
Yeah.
As opposed to Melissa.
Yeah.
And without having the our mom there, our mom makes it more interconnected between the people. And this character to me seems a little bit distanced from people, even though Melissa's clearly a good friend or a sibling, whatever way you want to read it.
Yeah.
Good friend. She's still kind of distanced because of what she's experienced and what we find out later on.
Yeah.
that make sense? Anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
So, if you went with our mom, I would still suggest we take it out because I like ambiguity. But I also really like ambiguity.
This is always good. She got friend Melissa vibes when Katie first read it, so that came through. Excellent.
Friend Melissa.
I love how it's like Miranda. It's like you, me, and Miranda at this point.
Everyone's like, God, they talk way too much.
Yeah, they're like, okay, bye. We've heard the story. Now we're leaving. But not Miranda. Miranda's a true blue.
She is. She's here. She was really excited for this, so I can't blame her.
Well, just so you know, Miranda, this was scheduled today specifically for you because Katie said, oh, can we either do it next week or I forget, someday? Or, this was 2 weeks ago. She was like, we either need to do it tomorrow or next week because Miranda won't be here for the last week of September. And I was like, well, I'm going to be in Colorado next week, so it's going to have to be tomorrow. But then I needed one extra day, so that's why it's on Thursday. Oh, there are people here.
That was not a call out, Laura. I promise it was not a call out. I just think it's funny.
Crystal says, I have a friend who drags me places for my own good, so this feels really relatable. Excellent. You got to share it. Either share it here or share it in the Discord. Either, it's up to you.
Yes. And if you want to edit it, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Katie had your back. Katie was like, Miranda really wants to attend. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. That scheduling was worth it.
I'm glad we did because you're giving so much great advice.
I know. I'm so glad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So personally, I think it's a little unfair, the amount of crap I've had to go through for the sake of closure.
Mm-hmm.
Hits really well. The cadence, the rhythm is really nice. Only thing I would say is I feel like this
No, I know what you're going to say. There's one place that I knew you were going to want me to put shit and one place I knew you were going to want me to put F. And I was like, no, because I don't want to get in trouble with Fortnum and Mason for whatever reason.
Why would they be? They're not. Why would you get in trouble with Fortnum and Mason?
I don't know. I might. For anybody watching who might be confused, Fortnum and Mason is the company that makes the chocolates that are the chocolate short stories. This Fortnum and Mason, it's a department store in London. And it's my secret hope that eventually they will want to not sponsor, but they'll shout me out. And I just want to, even though I spend like half of my videos roasting their chocolates because they're always underwhelming. But I'm putting a lot of work into writing short stories for their full collection. And I just don't want to have anything completely, although now that I'm thinking about it, but were there curse words in Breakfast in Bogota?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have to look.
Don't worry about it.
Later I'll look at it.
This is a fantastic point, actually. Fortnum Mason is English, so like you could use the C word and they wouldn't be phased.
Miranda, clutch.
They probably wouldn't give a crap about using a stronger cuss. Well, but Fortnum Mason is like, I don't know, maybe I'm personifying it a little bit, but it's a very uppity, in a good way, department store. They have afternoon tea on their highest floor, and they've got little hampers that you pack for picnics, and they're literally the type of department store that makes fancy little booklets for all the chocolates that they make. I would be worried about their, you said it, I didn't.
Okay, well, I still think crap is a little bit it's if you're not going to go with shit, which is fine, I'll move on from that point, but I do think that it's a little bit I don't want to say immature, that sounds bad.
I know, but I hear that.
Like, this character has proven themselves to have a high level of vocabulary, clearly thinks very highly of themselves, is pretentious, sarcastic, and snarky. You secretly wrote me. Just kidding. So I think we could pick a better way of phrasing this to get rid of crap, to give it the punch that it needs for the character. Does that make sense?
But I just feel like, and maybe this is me and my own upbringing, but I just feel like, just in terms of thinking about replacing it, I feel like sometimes people use curse words so unnecessarily, you know? And I think, but maybe we should just say shit. Because I really like the structure of this sentence. Because I can hear her saying it so clearly in my head. But personally, I think it's a little unfair the amount of crap I've had to go through for the sake of closure.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. Oh, wow, we just got a ton of people coming in. Oh, wait, hold up. That's Laura's story. But just a second. Miranda says, I say that with love. I can't wait to go back to London and check out these chocolates in person. Oh my gosh, do it. Also, I had a friend who was in England just a few weeks ago, and I was so mad that I didn't tell them to get me stuff. Snooty doesn't mean G-rated. That's true. Can we take a pause to read Laura's story?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Will you read it?
Sure. The skin peels from their back in 4 large strips. A breeze makes them flutter in the breeze like the wings they are morphing into. Another head with huge faceted eyes comes through the human mouth, the human grin splitting to accommodate. The skull is now a decoration. Again, reading comprehension.
You got it.
The skull is now a decoration of death upon the thorax. Appendages slough off extra human skin, revealing thin black legs where the skeleton should be. Tailbone elongates, straightening, piercing through the skin, a sharpened stinger dripping toxins. Buzzing fills the air as the wings take flight. A demon of spring.
I love that last sentence, but I hate the word slough. So overall, I'm neutral about it. No, I'm just kidding. It was so good. That's
really
so good, Laura.
Demon of Spring needs to be like a name, like it needs to be like the title or something. Demon of Spring is amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I also hate bees, but that was chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, Laura.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for sharing, Laura, by the way.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura.
I love it. I love every snippet you give us.
All right, say a final goodbye to Mom. But personally, I think it's a little unfair the amount of shit I've had to go through for the sake of closure. The amount of crap I've had to go through. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I say crap, but I don't feel like crap is immature. I feel like if we said something like excrement, like that would be poopy. The amount of doo-doo I had to go through for the sake of closure.
Oh. I mean, personally, I would have went with bullshit I've had to go through but I also use bullshit.
Actually, I love it. No, I love bullshit. I think that's so much better. I think that for some reason isn't as offensive to me. How's that? Why is that weird though? Like that's so weird that for me bullshit is totally fine.
Well, bullshit implies that like this is like absolutely absurd, ridiculous, unfair ridiculousness. Where shit just like it's like stuff. It's like the amount of stuff I've had to go through.
Yeah.
It more specifically means like this is off. I hate this. Like this is not allowed. So but like it kind of does fit the character, does it not?
So good.
It fits her. But personally, I think it's a little unfair the amount of bullshit I've had to go through for the sake of closure.
I enjoy that a lot. I like that.
There we go. We got there.
Yes, excellent. If only I'd let you talk before assuming we could have resolved this 5 minutes ago. That's funny.
It's fine. We did. No. Sorry. So
You're
stupid. I crossed the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of.
Well, this was meant to be like a list, explaining the previous. This is what she considers the bullshit she's had to go through.
So this might be a little bit
Go for it.
crazy,
Okay.
but
Oh yeah, no, I like it. I thought you were about to delete the entire paragraph. I was like, but babe. Yeah. Oh, bullet points.
and then or if we even could do like I don't know how to exactly format.
Okay, I like the individual paragraphs. I don't like the bullet points.
You don't like the bullet points?
No, I like the individual paragraphs though, because I think the bullet points go back to that conversation of clinical, and that makes it feel like data entry, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does feel like data entry.
But I like the idea of having them indented, like they feel like it is a list, like she's written it down. But yeah. What does the chat think?
What's the chat think? It's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit fucking wild. Sometimes you got to do some.
Hold on. Let me read it all the way through. Will you scroll up just a teensy bit so I can get the intro sentence? But personally, I think it's a little unfair, the amount of bullshit I've had to go through for the sake of closure. Cross the lake.
I crossed the lake.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I crossed the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of. I slept in a B&B with itchy frilly duvet covers that kept me awake all night. I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was innocent. I like that a lot.
And do you like the keeping it kind of list without the eyes, and then just having the eye, and then it's list?
No, I would prefer it's like each introductory phrase is introduced with the eye. Don't you?
It kind of depends. I mean, it depends on what look you're going for. I mean, because this is more list-like, where it's like I, and then this is what I did, and then she listed out. Oh my god, stop! Sorry, I sometimes hate Google. Anyway, let me just. It's okay.
I just like it because I want the final sentence to be very personal of I murdered. I want that to be there. And in order for that to be there, in order to keep the repetition, the I needs to be in the other two sentences as well, because I don't want the final sentence to be depersonalized. And I just feel like if you go, I crossed the lake, I slept in a bed and used a shovel, I want the I used a shovel. Does that, because then we're,
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
It certainly feels like it. Not my first, but it might be my second.
Miranda agrees. Team no bullet points, but separate lines.
Totally fine. It was a formatting thought I had. But
I like the separate lines. I really do.
I do too. I think it gives some nice thing, especially with this. Also, I do want to go back to these for a hot second. However, this does go with this. Oh my god, what? Okay, but I think we'd be putting these in parentheses.
Yes, I agree. Because yes, I 100% agree for the same reason that I wanted to put a pin in this festival.
There we go. Just gonna accept that suggestion so it doesn't look weird. Okay, just because I think that because it's almost like an aside. This character.
It's exactly an aside, Katie.
Not me, just pointing out what you've done. Feels very Deadpool.
I'm just waiting for it to click for you. We can keep going.
Okay.
Not being so pretentious.
Girl, I have no room to talk. I have no room to say anything about you being pretentious. Y'all know how pretentious I am. So I have conflicted feelings, so I'm going to explain both of my things. I think.
Wait, hold up. Michael has a point. Are we sure about the exclamation point after innocent? I wasn't sure. I included it to see if it needed emphasis, but I am totally up for discussing that. What do you think?
I think.
Are we feeling like she's so done with it all that she wouldn't even really feel the emphasis on it? The only reason I felt like she might is because her next sentence is literally yeah, that one might take a while to
Sorry.
But it does. I can see the exclamation point also lending to that idea of immaturity, right? Of
yes, which is I have two conflicting feelings about it.
Okay,
one is I think it does add a nice emphasis because you do have I crossed the lake on the same ferry that my mother supposedly fell off of. I slept in the B&B with the itchy frilly duvet covers that kept me awake at night.
Mm-hmm.
I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was innocent.
Yeah.
Almost like a panicked.
Yes.
It's escalating.
Yes.
And then she like takes a second to like be like, whew, processing that one's definitely gonna take a while. Sorry. And this is what I really like about it. The sorry is almost like it could be taken one of two ways. I don't know if I'm about to hit it or not. The sorry is either to sorry I accidentally caved your head in, or sorry I panicked about this. Sorry I got like loud in that moment and was like, oh, you know?
No, 100%. Hi, Stieg. 100%. The narrator is sitting in the gardener's shed next to his dead body as she's trying to regroup and about for her to make her final stand against Beatrice. And she's saying all of this to him.
Nice. I love that with every inch of this.
Yeah.
So I do kind of feel like the innocent works here because she kind of like is the exclamation point at the end, innocent. Because it kind of works because she's like, I found out you were innocent.
Yeah, sorry.
Then, sorry. And it's like she like as she's sitting there and she's looking at this man, she's like starting to like try to explain this to like the audience, and I can almost see it like in a movie where like you see her sitting in the garden shed,
yes,
like, talking, and then as you get to this part, the camera pans back,
and he's like
a dead body, and she has the shovel like in her lap.
Yes. Well, so this is how I kind of, again, it's never stated explicitly because I said we had plotted out this whole 3-act structure, these 3 days, and then I just decided to write a 500-word snippet at the end of the 3rd day. And the idea is yesterday is when she killed him, right? Because it says that yesterday, only to find out he was innocent. And like literally just before she starts telling this story is when everybody, explodes, and she runs for shelter to the shed, to the garden, like to the greenhouse, basically.
Yeah.
And is now sitting, she's regrouping, realizing she's going to have to do this like Pyrrhic victory, where she's going to die, but she's going to take the bees with her. And she's kind of like saying this all to his dead a little bit. I don't know when bloating starts, but he's definitely like in rigor mortis to his body. And so that's kind of why there are these, and that's
summer and there's blood.
So all the way back to the thing that we put the pin in is why I wanted it to be the island and this Infernal Honey Festival as opposed to and its Infernal Honey Festival, because he would obviously be like, oh yeah, you don't need to say the island and its Infernal Honey Festival to someone who lives on the island. Also, the Honey Festival is like currently happening, right? It's the end of it. And so that's why I wanted that like more personal word there. Does that make sense?
It does. I almost wonder if you want to make it a little more explicit.
I don't. I want it to be something that hits either like in this moment in the sorry, or when she says, and now that I'm the last human alive on the island, again, sorry about that. Like that's where I really want that to hit.
That's fair. I like that then.
Okay.
Looks like we can resolve this bin.
Excellent.
So yes, I do think this is fine here.
Okay.
Because she's kind of getting a little bit hysterical because she's literally sitting next to a dead body. Yeah. And she kind of, as an aside, like to calm herself down, is like, wow, that's going to take a while. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's almost like the sorry is almost double-edged because it's like, sorry I was so hysterical and killed you, and also sorry I'm hysterical now.
Yes. And I think for me, it's like, yes, she's saying all of this out loud and he's the only person in there. So she's kind of talking to him, but she's also talking to us, like this invisible audience. And it's in these moments with the parentheses that she refocuses on him. So she's like listing off these things. And then I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was innocent. And then she turns to him. Processing that one's going to definitely take a while. Sorry. So that's kind of the directorial vision that I had. So not to be pretentious about it, but that's what it was. I love this. For some reason, I pictured Jennifer Lawrence in this role, and I see it, actually. I can totally see it.
I see it.
All right.
Me too. Why do I also see, like, Woody Harrelson as the gardener?
I totally can see that 100%.
Maybe it's just because of Hunger Games, but, like, it feels correct.
Yeah.
Anyway, just because it's been bothering me, there goes.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that, but I figured you would catch it.
Yeah. I think it goes there. It feels like it goes there. I'm happy.
Okay.
So,
and also, I don't know if B&B needs to be capitalized that way.
Actually, Google it.
Thank you. This was the vibe I was going for, a campy horror movie. So, thank you. Oh, wait, actually, I shouldn't put words in your mouth. Do you mean camp horror movie as in like Friday the 13th, where it's literally at a camp? Or do you mean camp as in like got camp vibes? It's campy. Let me know. I think you're talking about the second one, but I don't want to assume. All right, where are you?
Sorry, I'm looking at the.
For B&B.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like it should be fine.
Okay.
Because it's not in dialogue. If it was in dialogue, I would do the B and then write out.
Oh, right. The and.
Yeah, that's the only.
Yeah, because we don't say B ampersand B.
I really feel this. This is so fun. I almost feel like this should be in quotes.
Which one?
Supposedly.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm down for that. I wasn't sure if I was overusing quotes because I have it for mysteriously, I have it for closure. So, but if you feel like it's not overusing it, then I'm fine. Yeah. Because it's definitely the tone that she's going for. I feel like she's the kind of girl who does quotes a lot, you know? Yeah. My mother mysteriously vanished, find closure. Oh, supposedly. She's got that annoying little, tick almost.
Yeah, it's almost like I cannot believe I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I have to find closure.
Yes.
She fell off a boat.
Yes.
Not me secretly, really relating to this narrator. And her absolute sass. I love it. It'll have to be actual camp steak. I refuse to let Met have any kind of Met Gala camp. It's not even camp. It's not camp. Met Gala does not have camp. 3 people do. Okay. So there's one other thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll just talk through it, and then we can kind of discuss if there needs to be a change. I don't necessarily think there needs to be, but I'm just thinking about it.
Okay.
So we start up here, and it's very I don't want to say highbrow, but that's the best I can come up with at this moment. It's not actually highbrow, but you know what I mean.
I hear you.
And it's more like with a very particular cadence.
And then the casual, oh yeah, is that the issue?
And the definitely gonna, and then oh yeah. So what I wonder is because this character now we've now been basically revealed, if we were watching this on a screen, that she has murdered someone by accident. Or not by accident.
On purpose.
Thinking they were a serial killer, and turns out they're not actually a serial killer. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I wonder if the formality, because she's kind of ramping up and she's being more anxious because she has to go fight a fucking monster bee woman, would lead into having the less formal language.
It's exactly what I was going for. But do you feel like it doesn't work?
I think literarily it works. It works within the context of the story.
Okay.
The editor inside of me thinks it should be proper English, but
well, but again, because I'm trying specifically to be voicey here, I want you to read it the way she's saying it right now, and
yes,
she's like, processing that one is definitely going to take a while versus processing that one is definitely going to take a while. Sorry,
Yeah, so I think voice-wise and narratively, and with the context that you have set up within the literary analysis of the oh my god, sorry Miranda.
Okay, Miranda, there's always the replay, but we will be devastated without your helpful feedback because you've been a queen. Thank you so much.
The queen bee.
The queen bee. The Beatrice.
So yeah, I think it works within the context of the narrative. But if you had a copy editor, they would probably say no.
Lame to that copy editor.
I'm not a copy editor, so no. Okay. I also think there should be a commentary.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Oh, yeah. And I can't forget 30 minutes ago, when all the creepy villagers randomly exploded into millions of bees. Like some insane David Cronenberg movie. I don't know who David Cronenberg is, but I'm just going to take your word.
Have you ever seen The Fly?
I've heard of it, but I have not seen it.
Basically, he does a lot of, he does movies that are normal, quote unquote, but he also has a few movies in his back pocket or in his portfolio that are literally humans turning into insects or monsters. So
yeah. I will take your word for it. I don't know every reference. I don't need to know every reference.
Sounds good.
Personally, if I wanted to look it up, I could just Google it if I was really confused, but I love it. I love the references to people in our real world. This is, I feel like these sentences need to be interconnected together. Like this, I know this is a complete sentence. However, the when throws me off.
Yes, and it's meant to be, again, I'm trying to demonstrate the actual tone of her speaking right now. And so that's how I tried to interpret it, but I'm totally open to figuring out how to make it grammatically correct. But she's literally going, oh yeah, and I can't forget 30 minutes ago when all the creepy villagers randomly exploded into millions of bees like some insane David Cronenberg movie, So it's the when does make it not a complete sentence, but like stylistically, it's a complete thought from her because she's referencing the previous sentence, but it's its own beat for her.
It is. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky with when you are having such a voicey character of like, when does the voice
need to take a back seat to grammar?
And when does grammar have to take a back seat to voice? So I think in the context of this, for me personally, it
confused.
Not confused, but this part exploded into millions of bees like some insane David Cronenberg movie is voicey enough that it doesn't need to have the beat for beat voice of it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can just take away that period and just combine the two. Can it just be
like this? Like that, it's not going to be the same without the voicedness of it. Does that make sense?
Yes, I get you.
Like, this has the same voiciness with or without the comma or the period. Like changing it to this doesn't really change the voiciness.
Okay. Yeah. And I can't forget 30 minutes ago when all the creepy villagers, randomly exploded into millions of bees. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
What is it doing? What is happening?
When?
You know what? I'm just gonna delete this whole
delete the whole thing. You can just approve all your comments, and that way it won't have all this,
I know, but I kind of like seeing where we were in case we want to do something again,
That's true.
And it shows like the chaotic energy.
Yes, it does.
So like if we change this, definitely going to take a while, would change the voiciness of it a ton, adding the comma and changing it to when.
You're right.
Voiciness.
You're right.
Violent group metamorphosis by the quad was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily Newsletter. I checked.
I struggled so hard with this sentence. I loved the theory behind it. I think it's hilarious, but was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily Newsletter. I don't know if you're going to trip up while reading that. I felt like when I was reading out loud, I tripped up all the time, but I don't know how to clarify it, make it specific enough and still keep that humor. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
What if we just did it to inside the Salt Bay newspaper?
So that was something I'd considered, but in my head, I feel like it's this moment that never gets clarified, but it's just something, our girl she can't handle trauma, right? Her way of dealing with it is through sarcasm. Yeah. And so obviously we've learned from the beginning, she was here against her will. She didn't want to come here. And I have this idea that every morning, her peppy little Airbnb host has slipped the little Salt Bay Daily Newsletter under her door as she's getting ready for the day, and she picks it up and she's like, oh, how quaint, a little daily newsletter. And I just feel like when it's newspaper, like have dailies. Oh, in the Salt Bay Daily. What if we just said that? Scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily.
That works, because
I would capitalize daily to make it
this. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Just to fix
Violent group metamorphosis by the Quad was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily. I checked. I like that. Thank you, Penumbra.
Thank you.
What do you think? Do you think that flows a little better? And what about instead of was not, just wasn't? Violent group metamorphosis by the Quad wasn't an activity or was not an activity. Maybe it was not.
I think it was not, because you have violent group metamorphosis by the Quad was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily. Checked.
Yes, I like that a lot better.
Not to like, it was not. It was not. It was absolutely was not here.
Yes.
It wasn't here.
It was not advertised. Excuse me.
This is false advertising. This is clickbait. Also, is this the title of the Cronenberg movie?
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, but that's funny. I know. I was trying to, it's just her being stupid.
Because, okay, so if it's not, so here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I think
what I was trying to do here was give exposition about what had just happened to her, that she was literally in some area downtown, a little park, and there were all these creepy villagers, and you know, all this stuff has happened. She thinks she's killed a serial killer, and then all of a sudden, violently, a group of people just went and turned into bees. And that was what I was trying to explain here.
And it definitely does do that. Which, since giving more context with that, I think adding, like, putting it in italics, and then when you get the information of that it's in the daily, it's almost like that's like an italic like activity.
Yeah,
like a thing, like gives it more of like the formatting of what it would be in the pamphlet.
Okay.
Since she's looking at the being like, where was this in the pamphlet?
Yeah, yes, because it wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
Yeah,
and like trying to put it in the because then it's all like capitalized, because it could be like violent group metamorphosis by the Quad, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're gonna make bee statues with honey. Like, that's what I imagine is there. And then of course, obviously with the formatting, it's all capitalized, so it's kind of like the very funny thing.
Yeah. So, Penumbra, this was also something that I rewrote this sentence so many times, and because I wanted to be quippy but still give exposition, I felt like it was more important for the exposition to be in what had occurred. So what event she's saying she saw but was not scheduled. But I did like, was not an activity scheduled in the festival flyer, but I still wanted to include that daily because, you know, I don't know, but festival flyer was something I did consider. I ended up going with the daily newsletter because it meant to kind of, in my brain, I was like, on an island this small, in a community this small, the daily newsletter and the festival flyer would be the same thing, right? The festival flyer would be inside the newsletter and the festival schedule would be inside the newsletter. So I feel like it could be more specific and we could rework it. But I don't know. What do you think, Katie?
I don't think it needs to be that specific.
Okay.
I think Salt Bay Daily gets the information across to people, and there's also the aspect of the fact that, like, she's relaying this information, so she herself is not going to be super specific about what exactly she looked at.
That's true.
She's not going to be like, I was looking at the festival flyer and this was not in there.
Yeah.
Like, she's being like, this happened and it was not an activity that I read about.
Yeah. And she can say the Salt Bay Daily, and since she's talking to the gardener, he knows what it is. Theoretically, I mean, he's dead, but she's like, oh, you know what this is.
Yeah. She spiritually knows what it is.
Yes. And this is what I have in mind when I'm referencing the Salt Bay Daily. But again, I'm thinking that it's like that, exactly this, where because it's such a small community, this daily thing is both there. Here's the news of our town, but also here's the schedule and the events and all the stuff for the festival that's currently occurring. So
it could also be that, like, she just doesn't care exactly what it's called, and so she just calls it the Salt Bay Daily because
that's true.
What the name of the paper is. So she's just gonna say it, you know, like,
yeah.
She's not a resident of there. She's not gonna specifically be like talking about the festival flyer. And I think since it is so voicey and she is personally talking to the gardener, I think it works. Personally.
That's fair. Awesome.
There we go. I love this sentence so much.
Thank you.
It's exactly what I want. I love reading it. Violent group metamorphosis by the Quad was not an activity that was scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily.
Thank you.
It's like so salty, and I just it's so good.
Penumbra, I like this. I just, for some reason, to me, the humor in this is the I checked. Like, as in between everybody exploding and her going to the gardener, to the greenhouse, she first stopped at the B&B and checked the schedule. She was like, was that fucking planned? Like, was this a thing? And I didn't even see that, like, on the list of things happening today.
I get bamboozled. Did I really get bamboozled by this?
That's where I find the personal humor in that. So that I think I'd like to keep it as a physical piece of paper that she ran to and was like, but okay.
It's almost like a God, please tell me that this isn't real.
Yeah.
Oh God, is like this supposed to happen? But like, logically,
exactly,
it's not.
Yeah.
It's also like, if I can get proof that it was supposed to happen, it'll be better. But honestly, it'd probably be worse if it was on there in like highlighted font.
To me, that's the humor in it, right? Because it's such an absurdity either way for them to for her to expect them to have written it down, that she would take time out of finding shelter to go and check it. To me, that's hilarious. Whether or not she's telling the truth or not, she could just be speaking to the gardener and being like, and I checked, when in reality she didn't. But to me, the humor is in that she actually did.
The camp of it all.
Yes, exactly, the camp of it all.
It's the camp of it all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This wasn't on the schedule. What is the hell's happening? Yeah.
Wasn't on the schedule. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. It tells you exactly what you need to know about the character too. Like, this is absolutely, like, if I was writing an essay on this and I was describing the character's development and what she was like as a person, this is literally a reference I would use. It shows exactly who the kind of person she is. Like, it gives you everything you need to know about her.
Awesome.
Not that the rest of them haven't, but it just continues to give you context to her. But I still stand by the fact that despite all I've done and witnessed, the real horror of this place is just how much goddamn honey there is everywhere.
Too many commas. I feel like it's pretty.
But I still stand by the fact that despite all I've done and witnessed.
Oh, wait, hold on. So this, again, is an intentional clue of, granted, you're right. I didn't write this down. The reader could interpret it as she literally pulled it out and checked. But in my mind, she is so checked out of this whole event. Also, she had just killed someone the previous day and was like kind of freaking out about it. And she wanted to get off the island. And I just kind of assumed she would have left the pamphlet in her room because she's very checked out of the festival at this point in her mind. So she wouldn't have it on her. But again, that's just how I interpret it. I don't state explicitly. So it could have been that she was like, what the hell's happening? Let me pull out the schedule, so.
Which either way I think works. And either way, so they both work for this character who's descending into madness because everything around her has literally exploded into bees.
Yes, literally exploded.
Exploded into bees. Like, everything is a bee, and she hates
It's all bees. It's all bees.
It's all bees. What's the problem with bees?
There's this Arrested Development episode. I don't know if you've ever watched Arrested Development, but right. Well, anyway, they're these rich siblings, and one sibling is a girl, and she's always going off on these like random business adventures. And she has an older brother who she's like talking about what her next business adventure is, and he's also trying to make money. And she says, "Oh, I'm getting into beads, bracelets and stuff, beading jewelry." And he thinks she says bees. So anyway, that's just what this reminds me of. Like, surprise, bees.
Like that. There is a Cards Against Humanity's card that's just bees?
Bees? Question mark? Yeah.
Bees? Question mark? Which is literally one of my favorite cards because it's just so ridiculous.
I should, when I'm making the Instagram picture for this story, I have Cards Against Humanity. I should go and find that and include that bees? Question mark.
That'd be so good because it is like bees.
Yeah, bees.
Bees.
Yes, she will have melissophobia for sure after that. I wonder what the phrase for being scared of bees.
Phobia of bees. Epibophobia?
Apophobia? Interesting. Okay. Awesome.
It's also Melissophobia.
Oh no, wait, is it really? Oh, that makes sense because Melissa is the Greek name for bees. Oh wow, I thought she was just making a joke, I thought you were making a joke, Penumbra. But I gotcha.
It's actually a thing. Wow, look at that. I love how people also ask, what causes the fear of bees? Probably the fact that they sting people and they're kind of terrifying looking. What a weird question to have on Google. Anyway.
Where were we?
This long sentence, though.
You do? Okay. Okay.
Because you have a lot of like snappy, quick sentences that are like doing it. But this is almost like it's a new paragraph. So she's almost like, she's standing there. She's looking down at the gardener. She's about to go on to face Beatrice.
Yeah.
And like, I still stand by the fact that despite all I've done and witnessed, and she's saying it to him, like all that I've done to you and all that I've witnessed, the real horror of this place is that how much goddamn honey there is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just gives, it just feels so psychotic. And I love it because she's like stealing herself for it.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? The real horror isn't the fact that we just had violent group metamorphosis by the quad. Yeah. It's the goddamn honey. It's the honey that is the problem.
Yes.
It's the honey. So I think it works for that because you have this like just like completely chaotic moment of like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And then the like kind of, I can almost see her being like, I still stand by this.
Yes.
I still stand by honey and how fucking awful it is. Oh, it's in the I feel like, okay, so here's where I think we can make a little bit of like subtle changes.
Please, yeah.
So I think we could do like, almost if you want to build more hysteria to there, we could, I also almost feel like this sentence should stand alone.
Okay.
Because it's like, that is the meat and potatoes of what the next is going to be about.
Yeah.
And also just shows how much her mind is broken because of what has happened. If she thinks the honey everywhere is the horror.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
So I almost kind of want to do, like if we have like, it's in the fudge, it's in the bonbons, like it's stirred into the teas at all the restaurants. It's even in the complimentary skincare in my bathroom at the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, I like that. So
like having just it's in the fudge, it's in the bonbons.
Mm-hmm.
And I
you don't need the candy store. Yeah.
You don't need the candy store on Main Street. This is just extra exposition that like isn't really necessary for this. Like if it was a different, like she's not really describing what the island looks like at all ever throughout this, besides the violet colored and the things later on. And then you have it's stirred into the tea at all the restaurants. It's even in the complimentary skincare products in my bathroom at the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
And then when I Googled, that just turned Dan.
Ah, good.
These need to be capitalized.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because we're talking about hell as a place.
And Earth as a place.
And Earth as a place.
Yes, I agree.
So I think those need to be capitalized.
I think you're right.
There we go. Anything else you want to do with this one?
No, I think you've transformed it correctly. I struggled with this. This was kind of like a last minute of addition. I think I was trying to meet my word count. And then I also think that I was trying to give a little vibe to the island because I'd realized at this point I hadn't. And so I think you've doctored it perfectly though.
Yeah, because you do have like the it's in the fudge, it's in the bonbons, it's in the tea at the restaurants. And I love this. This is just such a cute little, like not cute, but such a thing that only someone who viscerally hates something so much would notice.
Just checking the ingredients. Like, God damn it, there's honey in this.
God damn it. I can almost like see her in the bathroom and then she's like comes out and she's before all of this happens and she's like, Melissa, I'm leaving. And she goes, why? There's goddamn honey in the skincare products. Why is there honey in moisturizer? Who needs that?
I figured it was like a salt and honey like scrub or like a lip thing, but yeah, I think but I think that these people, you know, in reality, it's meant to be a little insidious, right? Insidious, not insidious, because they're probably in the moisturizer, even though that's not probably something you should put in moisturizer, but they're literally trying to get everybody to consume the honey in any way, shape, or form, so that way the metamorphosis will occur.
And the more honey you have in the system, the more they can control you.
Exactly, because again, it was in stages of the first day, everybody's totally normal, just excited for the party. The next day, everybody's acting like hive mindy and drony, and then late afternoon on the third day, everyone turns into bees.
Everyone is a bee.
Bees.
Bees. Oh, so yeah, it's a nice little detail of like, oh God. Like, this is so bad.
Come on. Penumbra has been giving us some awesome stuff. So yeah, this was talking about fear of bees. My eldest hates the sound they make. Just the sound makes her feel afraid. Honestly, because the sound is not fun.
Oh,
like I think it's at a frequency that is not pleasant. And then yeah, so this was the other thing is when I was eating the chocolate, the inside of the chocolate is honeycomb, right? That's why this story is called The Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay, because they always name the short story based off of the flavor of the chocolate, and this was milk chocolate and salted honeycomb. And I broke it open to show people, and it was all pocketed inside, and I was like, ooh, trypophobia. Trigger warning, just FYI, because yes, and I reference this in one of the paragraphs. I think in the next paragraph. In the next paragraph. Yay, Violet is back. Excellent. Welcome.
We are
still going.
We probably will be going for a very long time.
But I think that was the point. There was no that we said we were going to come here and edit the whole thing, and so that's the point.
You know, it's probably a good thing that you did only do 500 words, because we would be here for like 7 hours.
It was an executive decision that I am very glad I made, because Violet, I think, was saying, make it 5,000 words. And I was like, oh, that'd be so fun. But at the same time, there's no way we'd be able to edit that whole thing in one stream. So I was like, we're going to stick with 500.
I mean, I would love to. And honestly, if we had done it, I would have had to skip a lot of the nuances and stuff. And I think it's good to see the nuances of a story and really go through the layers.
I agree.
Because like a lot of times you don't even realize the nuances and layers that you're building until someone points them out. And you're like, oh, look at what they're doing. Look at what I did. Just because,
look at me.
Look at me. I understand story structure.
I know you were like, oh, this starts off with reflection before we get into action. I was like, oh, that was intentional.
Oh, look at this authorial intent. It's nice actually having the author here, because usually I'm just running bullshit out of my mouth about from authors who have been dead for like more than 60 years. So fuck their intent. This we can actually get into. That salted caramel spread. Now I'm hungry, Violet.
Yeah. There's a salted caramel chocolate, I think, and I'm excited to get to that one.
Let's hope the bowl of fate gives it to you.
Oh, for real. The bowl of fate has been so mean to me recently.
It really has. Although I do really love the bees.
This one wasn't mean at all, but I'm just so nervous that the dark chocolates are still in there, and part of me wants to do this type of stream again. Well, the first stream, the brainstorm stream, and then the editing stream. But I was like, oh, it'd be so fun to pull from the bowl of fate live on stream, but I'm almost afraid to do that, because what if it's the dark chocolates, and I literally can't do the dark chocolates because I can't eat that live. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, shall we continue?
I also think we could do that.
Oh, I like that.
And then I think it also adds to, because originally I was thinking like, oh, the because doesn't really fit here, but we have the truly hell on earth, and then it kind of flows into because I hate honey. Like, it kind of feels almost like a continuation of this without actually having to be a continuation with the comma and having it there, because I think this floating out in the ether by itself hits harder, and then it also, I don't know, weirdly flows and connects into because I hate honey.
Yeah.
and I always have. You should have an and there.
Well, but then there's an and in the sentence right after that. Which I feel like it could be transported. You go, because I hate honey and I always have, thank God to. I don't know. Because I hate honey, I always have, and thank God too. Which one do you think is better?
Well, I think I'm just stuck on the thank God too.
What about just because I hate honey and thank God too instead of the I always have? And just take out the I always have?
Yeah. Because like we really don't need the whole full context of like I always have hated honey. It's like
no, I think because I hate honey, period.
Yeah.
I think to make it more punchy.
And then just like that.
And do you think that and needs to be there, or just thank God too, or just we could just say and thank God? Because
I don't think you need the two. Okay. I was gonna say. I was like, ooh. Oh my God.
Why do you keep deleting that D? Thank go.
And
thank also, God because it's the honey. Oh, oops, my B. Not me. Disrespectful. Whoops.
Whoops, we're just gonna move right on.
Just casual blasphemy, no big deal.
Casual blasphemy.
And thank God, because it's the honey that's turning the tourists into drones. I'm sure of it. Why else would every single person at a freaking honey festival end up Franz Kafka except the one girl who refuses to eat the sticky sick of bees? What do you think? Is that sentence too convoluted?
I don't think so. I'm still kind of low-key hung up on becauses that are so close.
Ooh, because I hate honey, and thank God.
Too, because it's the honey.
You're right. I hate to say it, but you're correct. Truly, hell on earth. Because I hate honey, and thank God. Then I think that I always have does need to be there to give that distance. Because I hate honey, I always have, and thank God because it's the honey that's turning tourists into drones.
Yeah.
I think I always have needs to be there then.
And truly hell on earth. Because I hate honey. I always have. And thank God because it's the honey. Yeah, why does that sound better? Just the cadence and rhythm of it.
I think because it creates distance. I really do.
The honey that's turning the tourist into drones. I think that's a great image. And then also I love the use of
and it's meant to be very all-encompassing, right? It's both on the second day, the honey that's making them drone-like, hive mind-like, but then literally the third day when they've exploded into bees, drone bees, that's another way of phrasing it. That was my multiple layered reference. Thank you.
And I also like drones because it takes away their agency, and they have no agency because they are controlled by the queen bee.
Exactly. Wow, look at all these people coming back. Hello. Also, thank you, Crystal. Love the imagery of the sticky sick of bees, which Penumbra has explained for us. It is partially digested pollen that the bees spit into the comb and then let dehydrate. Yes, I figure our main character, her mom obviously died going to this festival, and so I think she has a personal dislike for honey in general out of vengeance, but then she also uses the scientific aspect that it's literally just bee vomit to justify it, Yeah. Be like,
ew, it's fucking bee vomit. Why would you want to eat that?
Gross. What about this suggestion? I have always hated honey, and thank God, because I think that has honey too close together in the same way that this would have because too close together. I like the way that we have it. What do you think, Katie?
It also lacks the cadence and rhythm of like truly hell on earth. Because I hate honey, I always have, and thank God because it's honey turning tourists into drones.
Okay.
It's about it's like a wave, and like you truly hell on earth is like the fall of the wave. Mm-hmm. And then you have the resurgence of the wave. Because I hate honey, I always have, and thank God. And that's like the smashing of the wave against. Why am I using a wave analogy? Anyway, it's like the wave of the words is flowing into explaining more of like it's the honey that's doing this. So it's not just me.
Yeah,
it's not just that I hate honey. It's also making people into bees.
Yeah, it's literally turning people into bees. So tell me that honey is good. Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like, first of all, I know you might have thought I was a psychopath up here because the real horror of the place is how much goddamn honey there is anywhere. It's not just that I hate honey. It's also the fact that it turns people into bees. So I'm right.
Exactly. No, that's exactly the transition, right? We're like, oh my God, this girl's so extra that she's like, oh, it's the honey that's gross. But then you're like, oh, except it's the honey that's literally, the honey is the symbol of the horror because it's the thing that's turning the people into the bees. So yeah, that's exactly the journey that I wanted people to go on. So
the journey. We're here. We're experiencing it. It's great.
Fantastic.
I love it. I'm sure of it. Why else would every single person at a freaking honey festival end up Franz Kafka, except the one girl who refuses to eat the sticky sick of bees? I really do love sticky sick of bees.
Thank you.
It does, because if you just said bee vomit, like, yeah, that's gross and visceral, but like it's also clinical.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like she has kind of, it's the pretentiousness of
it's the pretentiousness of her. Yes, the sick instead of just the throw up. The sick. Yeah. Because yeah.
Great. You know it's gonna do it.
Oh no. Oh, at a goddamn. I think I use goddamn too much, don't you think? I thought you were gonna say at a fucking honey festival.
I mean, I want to, but I'm.
Why else would every single person at a fucking honey festival? I just feel like that's too. I'm trying to be edgy, you know.
I do not think fucking fits here after hearing you. That's an interesting sentence there. I do not think at a fucking honey festival works. But I do think she has shown a pattern of saying goddamn.
But I feel like the last goddamn was fairly close. How much goddamn honey there is everywhere. And then I think freaking is the intent here. Also, Miranda, I agree with this. If we're trying to be Fort Mason advertiser friendly, no. But I think freaking is meant to emphasize like the obviousness of it. She's not trying to damn the honey festival at this moment. She's literally being like, literally, we're at a honey festival and everybody's turned into bees. I'm the only person who hasn't had any honey. Where do we think the connection is? And so that's kind of what she's trying to get across. So what about just freaking to make it a little more, we could do freakin', kind of how I...
God forsaken, as Miranda suggested.
Oops.
Because we've also talked about how it's hell on earth.
Yeah.
It fits with like God has forsaken this place.
But again, it's not in this moment, in this instance. I mean, yes, for the most of the story, she is meant to be just like pounding on it. I mean, she's she's not holding her punches, right? She is like, I hate this place. It sucks. Blah, blah. But this isn't one of those moments. She's not trying to be like, at this stupid honey festival. She's trying to emphasize how obvious the point, her conclusion is that it's the honey that's turning people into bees at this freaking, it's a literal honey festival. I mean, we could just say, why else would every single person at a literal honey festival end up Franz Kafka except the one girl who refuses to eat the sticky bees?
Yeah. Because I feel like freaking, again, it just feels a little
immature.
Immature.
Okay.
But like not in like a bad way. Like it's not a bad immature.
I hear you.
You have her literally pull Franz Kafka.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of obscure reference.
It is not, but also it plays into her pretentiousness. I felt like it's
and that's why I feel like freaking is just a bit of a too much of a dissonance between. So I like literal. Let's
literal
then.
Okay.
A literal honey festival. End up Franz Kafka.
Except the one girl who
refuses.
I like that.
Also, she's 30. Would she not say woman?
No, because I don't think I'm a woman. I think I'm a girl.
That is not a good justifiable answer.
Oh, what?
Because she's almost, I don't know if she would use.
But we took away her age, so she could be just about 20 or 21. Or I know those are technically women too, but to me, I feel like woman doesn't happen until you like pay a mortgage. I'm still a girl. I'm not a woman. I'm a
just think
miss.
someone who's pretentious would call themselves a girl, especially when they're about to go up against a metamorphosis queen bee.
But it's meant to be like, this is so interesting because she is pretentious, but at the same time, this is a very sort of right. I think saying woman takes away from the camp.
Damn it! So that's a good justifiable reason.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because we have the pretentiousness, but at the same time, if you read it in her, she's trying to be dramatic and extra, right? She's like, because I hate honey. I always have. Like, that's her. She's got a little bit, not Valley Girl to her, but just a little bit. It's camp, right? And I think, and then the sentence is, why else would every single person at a literal honey festival end up Franz Kafka except the one girl versus the one woman who refuses to eat the sticky bees? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It is very, girl gives you more camp, and I can't exactly explain why, but it's more camp. And
it is more camp. Again, I think all these are legitimate suggestions, but we have to integrate podunk into this because I think it's totally something she would say. And I think this is also a good point. Woman is a longer word. Girl keeps the cadence. Gal.
I also thought that. I was like, oh, should we do gal?
She has Kardashian tude. I think I like girl. I kind of want to fight for girl.
Girl's fine. Girl is fine. Podunk. I do kind of.
Or I would even go with chick. Except the one chick who refuses to eat the sticky bees. I think that's also pretty camp.
That is very camp. One chick who refuses to eat the sticky bees.
I kind of like that. I like chick.
Chickens eat honey.
Do chickens eat honey?
Oh, and chickens eat bees.
No way!
Yes. So that would work because she's a chick who's going to take down the bees.
Oh my gosh. I like chick. Okay, so also does the gardener not eat the honey? So she's not the only one. She's the only woman. Yeah, that's true. But the gardener's dead. So she didn't get to see if he was going to... in my mind, he doesn't. He's the gardener. It's like a specific role and that he's part of everything. But he's slowly... Again, there's so much stuff that never gets mentioned in this story because... for lack of word count and stuff. But he was... slowly rebelling against the hive and going to try and save people. But he was acting really sus because of that, because, obviously the hive is all around him and he needs to act, or he needs to work in secret. And our main character just got really bad vibes from him. And then she was convinced that he was actually a serial killer and made her mom disappear and made her friend disappear. And so then she attacked him in his greenhouse. And even though he was actually probably the one person who was going to be able to save her. So it's kind of a little
ironic.
A little ironic. But yeah, I think chick works. And I love the fact that chickens eat bees. That's amazing.
I also, Miranda, I do like bitch, but bitch feels a little bit too, feels like with the attitude that she has, it would feel almost a little derogatory to call herself a bitch.
I agree.
Doesn't seem like the kind of person who would call herself a bitch.
I agree. And I just can't get over the fact that chickens eat bees. I think I love that layer.
It's another layer.
Yeah, it's a layer.
One chick who refuses to eat the sticky bees.
Yeah.
And it really works with her attitude. And
because it's like, I won't eat the honey, but I'll eat the bees. Watch me eat the bees. You know? Exactly.
I will burn your fields and I will eat your bees.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
I think bitch is good suggestion just in the sense that it preserves the cadence. It's a one syllable word and it's punchy, but yeah, I think for the most part I prefer chick over bitch.
Yes. But I do love the word bitch.
But I think I would have preferred bitch over girl.
Yeah.
But I think chick just supersedes bitch for me, in my opinion.
Chick just came first. Because we probably would have put bitch and then chick, and it was like, chick would have overtaken it.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. So funny. It's ridiculous. I love the story.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. I just love this sentence. And now I'm the only real human left. Again, Sorry about that. It's kill or be killed.
I didn't know if that was the dumbest thing I've ever written, but I had to do it.
Oh my god, I do not want it here, but it has to stay.
I was like, God, come on, it's camp. It's camp.
It's camp. It's camp. It's literally just camp. And while I do not think she would make a bee pun, it's camp. So we got to keep it.
I kind of see it, right? Like she's in her little moment of psychosis and she's like, now that I'm the only real human left, again, sorry about that. It's kill or be killed. Like I can kind of, thank you. No notes on this sentence. Perfect. Thank you.
Only thing is that.
Actually, I did play around with like trying to make it super up. Like it's either kill the bees or be killed. But I felt like it's either kill or be killed. Kept the tone, kept the cadence, and I felt like was better. But that's just on me. That's
and it's kill or be killed is
idiom. Yeah, I like this suggestion. What do you guys think? Or you guys? Yeah, it's killer. Just to highlight it even further. No, this was not an error. This was not a typo. This was intentional, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
You shouldn't. You should never apologize for this. I'm just trying to think. There's something. I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not a big deal.
What? No, what is it?
No, it's literally nothing about the content of the sentence. It's just the way that it looks.
Oh, what does it not look good?
I mean, it looks fine, but like I feel like if I did this, just like putting.
Is that supposed to happen? Like, is that grammatically correct?
See, that's what I don't know. That's why I was confused.
I feel like aren't the parentheses their own break? Like, do you need the comma? I don't know how that works. Legitimately.
I don't know either. Let me Google it. This is also editing. I just Google like the Chicago manual all the time. Sentence. Yeah, well. Okay. Commas may be placed after the closing parenthesis, but not before either the opening or what?
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't have the comma after left, but you could have the comma after that.
Yeah.
And now, sorry. And wait, is there a comma there? Is that just a speck of dirt on my own thing?
This is a comma. There should be a comma.
I don't think there needs to be a comma there because it's. Oh, I see.
Right.
It's and now it's kill or be killed. But I think the way I wanted to phrase it was, and now that I'm the only human left, it's kill or be killed. Versus, and now that's not the intent. Okay, so and now that I'm the only real human left, again, sorry about that, it's kill or be killed. Okay, yes, I agree with Maya. I think,
it's just like whenever I see like words like now and so and things like
that.
Well,
it can be read that way. It could have been, and now it's kill or be killed with the interjecting qualifier being that I'm the only human left. But my statement was, and now that I'm the only human left, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah. So, and this is yet another, because some people are like, oh, well, like grammar rules cannot be broken. This is the perfect case of where grammar rules should and can and will be broken. I know what I have to do.
Also, do you think I know what I have to do should be the start of a new paragraph so that kill or be killed is its own punchy statement? Or what do you think?
That's what I was going to do.
Okay.
I'm just going to do this too.
Oh, I like that.
I know what I have to do. The violet fields need to be burnt.
That's passive voice. I don't know if I should say. I was going to go, I need to burn the violet fields, but I feel like that's too similar in structure to the previous sentence. It would be, I know, da-da-da. I know, da-da-da.
Okay, so what if we got rid of this? Here, hold on. And then we had this as the starting sentence. No more flowers means no more bees. So I must burn the violet fields. What do you feel about that?
Is there a way to make it into two separate sentences? Because I like the kind of cold calculatingness of no more flowers means no more bees. What about just I must instead of so?
No more flowers means no more bees. I must burn the violet fields. Yeah. That would work.
Okay.
Do you like that?
I'm getting hung up on must.
We need a stronger verb.
Or like I'm going to. No more flowers means no more bees. I'm going to burn the violet fields.
Will burn the fire field?
Okay, but here's my other issue is that the previous sentence is, I know what I have to do. And then initially it was like, we then explain what she has to do. But now it's, I know what I have to do. And then it's, no more flowers means no more bees. And then we state what she's going to do. And I kind of want the statement of explaining what she's going to do right after her saying she knows what she has to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
what about just burn the violet fields? I know what I have to do. Burn the violet fields. No more flowers means no more bees. What do you think about that?
I like that. Is this too much?
Hold on. Just give me a second. I think so. Oh, I know what yeah, I think so. I think they need to be the burn the violet fields. No more flowers means no more bees. I think needs to be together. Miranda says, is there any regret to her? Oh God, I got a fuzzy on my tongue. Is there any regret to her burning the field? It doesn't feel like a decision, but more inevitable. Could there be a beat of hesitation? I think she's past the point of hesitation. I think because at the very end of this, we say she has that little moment of reflection. I could have run. I could have jumped into the lake and swam to Canada, but screw that. And I think because she's already had that moment of hesitation. And this doesn't make any sense, but it's a very Buffy the Vampire Slayer moment in my mind. So I imagine she's in the, not garden shed, the greenhouse. And even though it doesn't make any sense, I imagine this whole speech, she's like carving a steak. like in my brain, she's just prepping something to burn the field, whether she's filling up a thing of gasoline, she's whittling a match. I don't know what she's doing. And so my brain just filled it in as she's carving a steak as if that's going to help her kill the bees or burn the field.
Oh my God, what if she was putting on a beekeeper outfit?
But like, because I have it, it's like almost a quiet moment where she's just sitting, like her bum is on the floor, her back is up against a pot full of, some sort of flower, and the dead gardener is literally laying in a pool of his own blood at her feet, and he smells kind of gross, but she's just, as she's kind of talking away, and again, I know she's not carving a steak, but in my brain, she's carving a steak with each of her punchy sentences. It's like accompanied by a of the wood getting, so she's already determined at this point. She knows she's had her, maybe when she was running to go check the flyer, she was like, what the fuck do I do? And then so I think there's no hesitation at this point anymore. She knows she's gonna die, but she's gonna take the island down with her, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that like she doesn't seem like the kind of bitch who is gonna hesitate anymore. Like she killed a man without even knowing if he was innocent or guilty. She doesn't have any hesitation at all. She's killing bees? No, she killed a human being. She's ready. She's ready.
So I also like this fields, but I think let me read. And now you left again. Sorry about that. It's kill or be killed. I know what I have to do. Burn the violet fields. No more flowers means no more bees. I just think the way it is now gives it, we do start getting into the cold clinical calculating. I feel like that's how it is versus I've got no choice. Like she doesn't even want a choice at this point. She doesn't feel trapped. She's just like,
this is her decision.
I'm going to kill the bees because she kind of does have a choice, right? She could escape. She could swim away and hope that the bees don't notice her trying to escape. So, but she's choosing to stay and burn the violet fields, which is going to burn the entire island down, basically. I wish I could like include that it's been a dry season or something so that like everything, but I don't know how to include that, but just to give that foreshadowing of what would happen once this story ends. Hold on, sorry, there's so many new comments. What's happening? Okay, as though the violets are the only part of the island she likes or something similar. Oh, that's kind of interesting. She could be filling a garden sprayer with the tiki torch fuel to pressurize it. It's very nothing left to lose. I have to do something. Yeah, I was trying to turn it into more of an act structure by thinking about a character turn / decision. Oh, that's interesting.
Very final girl. Very very ready or not.
Yeah. That was what I said. I was like, that's kind of the vibe I wanted to give her. Oh, good. I'm glad that that's coming through.
I love it. I love that movie so much. It's so good. It's not like a great movie, but like it's so fun.
It's a fun movie.
I also will say to the act structure thing, I think her decision is up here, where she kind of realizes, oh no, I have absolutely fucked up.
Yeah.
I have no other choice than to act.
Yeah.
Because this happened then this happened, and now I'm here. And there's nothing else left for me, for anyone. Like, this is my last stand. This is the closure. The closure of both myself, this island, and my mother. Like, it's already all come together with realizing she is trapped in an actual nightmare.
Yeah.
Yep, that's midpoint turn of like, and it's midpoint turn both for her as a character and also like literally within the story. It's like I think almost at the midpoint, maybe not. How many words into that? Let's see how many words into it is this. Oh, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's only 150 words. But we do go back and give.
Wait, 250? That's literally
157.
Oh, 157. Okay, yeah, no, not quite the midpoint.
But then we also go back and still get the exposition there, so that would kind of bump it. So it's told non-linearly though. So
right, that's true.
Yeah, break into 3 is deciding to burn it. Is like being like, I know what I have to do. That's definitely the break into 3 to burn the violet fields.
Yeah.
I also wonder if we want to keep the cadence of no more flowers, no more bees.
Yes, that's so good. No more flowers, no more bees. I love that. I love that. Yes, what a great change.
I know what I have to do. Burn the violet fields. No more flowers, no more
bees. I'm obsessed with that.
The only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit and is currently waiting for me to come out of hiding. So why is she waiting for her to come out of hiding?
She doesn't know where she is, and she's gonna attack her or she wants her to change, right? So there's she wants everyone. Beatrice, she's like, just come join the party, honey. Yeah, come become part of the collective. So she's waiting for our protagonist, and everyone else on the island is bees at this point, so it's gonna not be that long until someone finds her.
True. I feel like
mourners, no funerals vibes.
It does. No more flowers, no more bees.
Yeah.
No funerals. It's very much that. Should this be? I feel like this should maybe be changed to my only obstacle.
I like it. Yeah, I think that personalizes it for sure.
She knows what she has to do. She must do this. Her only obstacle, because she's literally the only person left.
Can I just say something funny?
Of course.
I literally 30 seconds ago, just now, got a notification that you have started making edits on the thing. The Google Gmail just emailed me and they're like, Katie Ed has suggested a change. I'm like, yeah, she started doing that 2 hours ago. Sorry.
That is really funny. That's like literally like an hour ago, I got the notification that we were live.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, thank you. But what's really weird is I got the notification that you were going live in 30 minutes. Like, so at 9:30 or at 10, I got the notification you're going live. And then it takes an extra hour and a half to tell me that you're live.
That's so weird.
YouTube's fucked up.
That's so weird.
It is really weird.
Okay, so my only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit and is currently waiting. Should it just be is waiting or is currently necessary there, do you think?
I don't think it's necessary. I've actually decided to get rid of that.
Waiting for me to come out of hiding. Beatrice. I don't know. Do you think?
Oop, not that. Nope. Whoop. Whoop. Suggestion. B.
Oh. I could go either way. I think that there's something to be said for keeping it all in one. Just because we have utilized this so much already. Maybe back when she's listing all the stuff she had to do, like all the shit she's been through. Listen to Beatrice talk about how fabulous the festival is, or something like that.
I almost wonder if it should go here instead.
But I hear what you're saying, but I feel like it should be an addition to instead of a replacement of, because I think that's legitimate bullshit. Like the B&B cover with the frilly duvet covers, that's not legitimate bullshit. No. But like having to ride on the same boat that for up until this point you thought was the thing your mom fell off of and drowned, I feel like that's legitimate bullshit to have to go through for closure.
That's true.
So like I crossed the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of. And then maybe like instead of making it a pitchy quick thing, we can just add on to the end of the sentence and had to listen as I don't know actually. Or maybe instead of, because initially the thought was that that's a thought. Add that it's Beatrice's Honey Festival. So maybe we could say, because initially the thought was, Beatrice was going to be this other lady on the ferry who was coming along. But what if Beatrice is the mayor and we can incorporate that at some way? Like, or the food products, Lady Beatrice Cafe or some shit. The bows, the SS Beatrice. I love that. I still stand by the fact that, let's see, where else? It's even, okay, yeah. What if it's Beatrice's B&B?
Oh.
I slept.
Yeah, I'm good if I can spell. If Beatrice's B&B with itchy frilly duvet covers that kept me awake all night.
What I want to restructure this sentence though. I slept at Beatrice's B&B, comma, which has, or like something like that, where the itchy frilly duvet kept me awake all night. And then delete the that.
That was a weird way of doing it.
Yeah. Frilly duvet covers kept me awake at night or all night. Kept me awake all night. I like all night because it indicates that she's tired. I slept at Beatrice's B&B. Her itchy, I think where the itchy or where her itchy. Oh my God, Paula's Choice. My cousin swears by that whole website and that skincare line. But I think it's so funny. I slept at Beatrice's B&B.
I feel like with the her, it could imply that like she hasn't slept on these, so she doesn't know what they feel like. Because she's a bee. She's 100 million bees in a skin suit. And so she doesn't really care what the feeling of them are.
Yeah. I think I do like her because it indicates that Beatrice is a real person as opposed to just the B&B being named Beatrice's, you know?
Yeah. And it like gives it like, this is her place. She's a real person.
Yeah. And then to integrate this, can we go down into the area where she's talking about where the honey is?
Yes.
Okay. It's even in the complimentary skincare products. And she could say something like at the end of that sentence, she could say Beatrice, or she could just, no, we can keep that sentence the way it is. And this is just a suggestion. Let me know what you think, but keep that sentence the way it is because I like it. And then go something like Beatrice's Choice my ass or something like that. I don't know. Birditris's.
Beatrice's Choice.
My ass.
Like on. Because it is a con. Because Beatrice is a bee.
That is true. Should Beatrice's choice be like in parentheses or italicized or something?
Ooh,
Beatrice's choice.
what a con. It's almost like she's
No,
saying.
no. But like the name of the brand.
Oh, right. Yep. Yeah.
And then I think not in parentheses because I want to keep only the parentheses for when she's directly referencing the fact that she has unalived somebody.
Oh. But I was thinking, what if she said it to him? Like, this is such a con.
I hear that, and it would fit, but I want to reserve the parentheses for because she's literally like apologizing for killing him. Ooh, that's gonna take a while to process. Sorry about that. I'm the only one left alive. Again, sorry about that.
That makes sense. Beatrice's choice. What a con.
What if we did but like just to qualify that or to further that it's skincare. Like I know we've already said skincare, but Beatrice's choice skincare. What a con. Beatrice's.
There is something about becoming a drone too in Beatrice's choice. Like she controls all of your choices through the honey.
Oh, I'm obsessed. That's so good. That's so good.
About the honey, and Beatrice is the one who's
yeah, and she's the queen, and so yeah, absolutely. Except I know that's not how hive den works, but on the island it is. The queen.
Yeah, she's there. Oh, 3.
Oh. 4?
4?
Oh, we're good.
Oh, are we?
No, my internet.
Gasp.
Am I okay?
I think you're back now. You look better.
Okay. I'm getting the little notification that it's back. Let me know.
Okay.
Oh my God, Miranda, what the hell? Bye.
Bye.
We're wrapping up, so we probably won't be back. Actually, I'm not going to promise it. I also kind of like this, but I do like the Beatrice's choice because that is super funny foreshadowing to me.
And it is a reference to Paula's choice.
It is a reference. What about instead of what a con, what a ripoff?
Oh, that would work. That feels more camp.
Yeah.
A ripoff.
Okay, so where were we? Burn the violet fields. Right. My only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit. Oh, thanks again, Violet, for the suggesting adding in Beatrice earlier. I think that's waiting for me to come out of hiding. Beatrice. I'm annoyed I didn't see through her sooner with a name like that. I've fallen too easily for her frail elderly woman act. But if I can keep her human, I might just have the upper hand. Okay, so this whole section is something I'm not like willing to like totally delete, but definitely I think needs to be addressed because I was trying to cross the type of hypothetical mind game, but I don't know if we need the 100 duck-sized horses, 1 horse-sized duck thing. What do you think?
I do kind of like that though.
Okay, then let's keep it. I just wasn't sure. If you like it, then let's keep it.
I don't know. But if I can keep her human, I think this sentence is just kind of hanging out, and I want to incorporate it somewhere.
What do you mean it's just hanging out?
Like, it's not a complete sentence. It's just kind of chilling, like...
Oh, well, then just add in an it's. It's like some weird hypothetical mind game. It is. Some weird hypothetical mind game. Weird hypothetical mind game. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? Would you rather be attacked by 1 evil grandma with a shotgun or nearly 1 million bees formed from the evil grandma's flesh? Neither sounds great, actually.
Because yes, this is perfect because you have the moment of like, this is an actual thing that people say and talk about. And then you have the absurdity of, would you rather be attacked by 1 evil grandma with a shotgun or nearly 1 million bees formed from the evil grandma's flesh?
Yeah.
Neither sounds great, actually. Like, it's just like, this is such a dramatic sentence, and then neither sounds great, actually.
Yeah, like not the best choices.
You know what? I don't want either.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that. Yeah, so I like this. Yeah. Because, like, I'm not a super fan of it, but in order to keep this, I will.
Mhm.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Because this is. I want this on a T-shirt. Now this sounds great actually, and then it flows into I could have left, because then you're getting into like the
Reflecting again.
reflecting again. I could have left. I'm a decent swimmer. I could have flung myself into the lake and swam to Canada, but they took Melissa, and at this point, yeah, and at this point, I'm pretty sure they took my mom 20 years ago too. So screw closure. Should we have one tasteful fuck?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Closure.
I love how at the beginning I was like, I know you want me to change this to shit and the thing at the end to fuck, but I'm not gonna do that. And then we ended up doing both. But yes, I think it's
bullshit, and this is like, it's the absolute snap of like,
I think that's fair.
Yeah. She's gonna bring the bees, Laura. She's gonna bring the bees.
Yeah. So again, my one concern over the entire thing is that I feel like it's only fully fleshed out to people who have the context of the brainstorm session. Most people don't realize she's sitting in the gardening shed or in the freaking greenhouse. Why do I keep calling it a shed? Maybe it's a fucking shed. I don't know.
It's Tiny Island.
Yeah, it's a tiny island. People don't know like that she's talking. I mean, I think I put in the hints that she's talking to the person she has killed, but they don't know that person's the gardener. They don't know.
No. They just, but they do know that she thought he was a serial killer and the one doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the one who was like.
But I guess my thing is that I'm afraid a reader reading this won't feel a sense of place. They don't know where she is right now. They know she's in hiding. I do include that. But what if we just make it extremely clear? Go up to where she's talking about the queen.
Oh yeah.
And this is where we finally like give as clear. Oh no, except I don't mention he's a gardener. Because I was going to say, okay, this is how I'm thinking we might fix it and also just make it super clear by the end that she's sitting there talking to a dead body. When she's saying all this bullshit she's gone through, she could in that somehow clarify that the person she killed was the local gardener or like keeper or whatever. And then at the very end, she's talking about the queen and how she's in hiding, waiting for me to come out of hiding in this greenhouse. And that way,
or we could just out of the greenhouse,
or waiting for me to stop hiding in this greenhouse, or waiting for me to come, because like I don't.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering up here. What if we did like he was
just the innocent gardener? I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was an innocent gardener. How about that?
An innocent gardener.
Okay.
So we have the stuff that like this character is the gardener.
Yes.
So I then can assume that like he was, bees need pollen.
Yeah. And then at some point, just to give that sense of place, I would love for her to reference the fact that she's in a greenhouse somehow. I hear this. I don't ever want her to be like, and now here I am talking to a dead body, because I do want that to be like a layer of that a reader can just, either they can read this and not come to that conclusion, or they read it and they come to the conclusion and it feels funny to them that like they were able to come to that conclusion, I don't want to state it so explicitly, but I want enough clues that it's easy to get, if that makes sense. She's still, and here I am hiding in the greenhouse, talking to a dead guy and improvising a flamethrower. Yeah. I do like improvising a flamethrower.
Currently waiting for me to come out and hiding.
What if, oh, this is a little explicit, but what if we said, luckily you had a flamethrower in your greenhouse. In this greenhouse.
Yeah.
Luckily you had a flamethrower stored in this greenhouse. Oh, what if instead of putting it there, we put it, but if I can keep her human, I might just have the upper hand, in parentheses, because luckily you kept a flamethrower in this greenhouse. I kind of love that, because I feel like that explicitly states it when we go into second person.
Yeah, I might just have the upper hand.
You kept, because it's got to be a past tense. A flamethrower in this greenhouse. I think it should be so you're not saying this flamethrower in this greenhouse.
Flower thrower? Flamethrower. So we kind of get the...
No, I think it should be this, so that it's clear that that's where she currently is.
Okay.
Also, why would a gardener have a fucking flamethrower?
Well, he was like thinking it. Maybe that was like his last resort. Maybe that's what he was going to be doing.
Yeah. That's awesome. I kind of like that. Let me read. I'm annoyed I didn't see through her sooner with a name like that. I'd fallen too easily for her frail elderly woman act. But if I can keep her human, I might just have the upper hand. Luckily, you kept a flamethrower in this greenhouse. That's like some weird hypothetical. Oh, actually, instead of luckily you kept a flamethrower in this greenhouse being here, what about when she's talking about burning the fields?
Oh, but I kind of like the burn the fields, no more flowers, no more bees.
I know, but go up. I'm not saying to get rid of that, but go up. No more flowers means no more bees. In parentheses, in its own sentence. Luckily, you kept a flamethrower in this greenhouse. I like that. What do you think? I think the period should be inside the paren.
Oh, yeah. What I have to do, burn the violet fields, no more flowers, no more bees. Luckily, you kept a flamethrower in this greenhouse.
I like that.
Should be
What
a
do you think?
flamethrower?
What?
Should be a flamethrower?
What should it be?
No, it saves word space if it's flamethrower. Because I was thinking, like, I think the image of her pouring gasoline all over the fields and then like striking a match and throwing it is a lot better.
Well, I mean, what's our word count right now? Do we have to say, luckily you kept gasoline and matches in this greenhouse? Ooh.
I think it's also because my edits, it's counting extra stuff.
Oh, can we start resolving, or just to get a real...
Let's go through here.
Why you gotta flame there? Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, chat. Do you think it should be a flamethrower, or do you think it should be gasoline and matches?
Oh my god.
Resolving
everything.
I just love how much time we spent on this. Like, for 500 words, we're gonna hit 3 hours. And normally you get just as fantastic comments done for me in 20 minutes. It's actually really impressive.
Yeah, but we're like talking through it, and like I feel like we're getting more in depth. Like,
But you know what's so funny? And maybe it's just because I have bias of what's in front of me. But even though I started this stream so insecure and so unsure about the voice and stuff, I think at this point, other than Breakfast in Bogota, this might be one of my favorite of the chocolate short stories.
This is definitely my favorite one that hits the word count.
Yeah. Can you check the word count now?
Yes.
Yeah, breakfast in Bogota is just okay. We just need to get rid of 30 words. Okay.
Oh, we can get rid of this because it's up there.
Oh, okay. Can you resolve that? So
Yeah, hold on.
thanks.
I'm just gonna move back to editing.
Yeah. Well, you need to fix the mom error somewhere, she's saying.
Yep.
What's the word count? How much was that? That was probably only like 6 words.
Yep.
Okay, it was 8 words.
Only one left.
Okay. Should we just start from the beginning and start getting rid of? Okay.
Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie. This has been my life's most secret dogma. Is it not big enough? Hold on, let me make it bigger again.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, I scrolled out so I can actually do the thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just looking at penumbras. Diesel and nitrogen fertilizer can be used to make a bomb, according to YouTube.
Holy crap.
You can have a greenhouse, you can have aerosol, pesticides and stuff, very flammable. True. We'll see.
Good
We'll
point.
figure it out. I feel like we kind of need to like look back and see exactly what we have.
Yeah. Okay. So let's read it through just to get visual and then also to delete any words we feel like are unnecessary because we need to get rid of 21 words at this point.
Hell is a violet-covered island in the middle of Lake Erie. This has been my life's most sacred dogma ever since my mother mysteriously drowned in Salt Bay. And to be perfectly honest, the past 3 days have only cemented my disdain against the island and this infernal honey festival. My FBI guy.
That's funny. What about instead of I know Melissa meant well, we just go Melissa meant well when she dragged me.
Yes.
And also, well, yeah, thanks.
Yep. Melissa meant well when she dragged me here to find closure after nearly 2 decades.
Now I don't like say a final goodbye to mom. Melissa meant well when she dragged me here to find closure after nearly 2 decades. I don't like say a final goodbye to mom anymore.
Yeah. I feel like we could get rid of that, and Melissa meant well when she dragged me here to find closure after nearly 2 decades. But personally, I think it's a little unfair, the amount of bullshit I've had to go through for the sake of closure.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, we're getting there.
I crossed the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of.
I think that in itself, that sentence defines why Melissa thought she needed to come here, right? Is we've really clearly identified that this is why we're getting closure, because her mom literally died on her way to this island or coming home from the island, theoretically. Okay, sorry. Anyway. Cross the lake on the same ferry my mother supposedly fell off of. Also, is that grammatically correct, ending with a preposition? I didn't know how to make it sound right and follow the rules.
Okay, not to go off on a small tangent, but the person who came up with that preposition rule was forcing English to be like Latin, and English is not Latin, so the whole reason the prepositions can't be separated is because in Latin they are literally the same word.
Okay.
In English they can be separated because they're not the same word.
Okay.
Sounds good. I personally rebel against that whole notion.
Okay.
How dare some guy in the 1700s try to tell me that English is like Latin when it's not?
Also, it just sounds so weird. I crossed the lake on the same ferry of which my mother fell, off of which my mother fell. Which my mother fell. Like, come on.
In Latin, it would make sense, but we're not writing in Latin. Yeah. So, English isn't Latin, it's Germanic.
Yeah.
That's my, small soapbox I will sit on.
I love it. I appreciate it.
I slept at Beatrice's B&B, where her itchy, frilly duvet covers kept me awake all night. I used a shovel to cave in a suspected serial killer's head yesterday, only to find out he was an innocent gardener. Processing that one's definitely going to take a while. Sorry. Oh yeah, and I can't forget 30 minutes ago, when all the creepy villagers randomly exploded into millions of bees like some insane David Cronenberg movie.
Will you fix that? Thank you. Thank you.
Violent group metamorphosis by the quad was not an activity scheduled inside the Salt Bay Daily. checked. But I still stand by the fact that, despite all I've done and witnessed, the real horror of this place is just how much goddamn honey there is everywhere. I feel like this could be changed to island, because place is a little non-specific.
Yeah. No, I like it. Also, should it be, for word count purposes, should it be despite all I've done and witnessed versus despite all I've witnessed? I like having the done in because it's her taking accountability for the fact that she's also participated in the horror. But from a word count perspective, it could be, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we could get rid of this just.
The real horror of this island, oh yeah, I can get that, is how much goddamn honey there is everywhere.
Just is a crutch word I use all the time. So I know I should probably get rid of it.
There were only two. I only had two.
I know. I'm just what I'm saying. I was like, oh, where's the other one, actually?
I might just have the upper hand.
I feel like that one works.
I think so. I think so.
It's like I might just barely, you know?
Yeah.
Just a skosh, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go here. But I still stand by the fact. I still stand by the fact that I still stand by.
What about just, but despite all I've done and witnessed?
Yeah.
I mean, just, yeah.
But this, yeah.
The real horror of this island is how much goddamn honey there is everywhere. And it should be but, comma, despite all I've done and witnessed.
Yeah.
The real horror.
Oh,
getting close.
It's in the fudge. It's in the bonbons. It's stirred into the tea at all the restaurants. It's even in the complimentary skin products in my bathroom at the bed and breakfast. Beatrice's choice. What a ripoff. Truly hell on earth. Because I hate honey. I always have. And thank God, because it's the honey that's turning tourists into drones.
What about, here's a thought. Take away the. It's the honey that's turning tourists into drones.
There we go. Turning tourists into drones. I'm sure of it. Why else would every single person at a literal honey festival end up Franz Kafka except the one chick who refuses to eat the sticky sick of bees? Now
that I'm the only real human left.
And I'm rolling again. Sorry about that.
This is a thought. It's in the fudge. The bonbons.
Ooh, there we go.
I think we might have it.
Do we? Nope, two more.
Oh man, dang.
I know this is adding a word, but
okay.
It's even in the fudge, the bonbons. It's in the fudge, the bonbons. It's even stirred into the tea. Oh,
we've got even in the, yeah.
Yep, I saw it there. I was like, whoops.
Yeah.
There it is. That's what every single person at the literal honey festival end up Franz Kafka. So the one chick who refuses to eat the sticky sick of bees.
And now that I'm the only real human left, again, sorry about that, it's kill or be killed.
I know what I have to do.
I kind of want us to add, but I know what I have to do. Don't you think?
Because I'm only real. Should we get
and? Yeah, real human, because Beatrice is still technically in her human form. Yes, Michael, I saw this comment. I do B&B earlier, and I just kind of, just to switch it up, wanted bed and breakfast. So I feel like we could make this change if we're really, really critical at the end, but I prefer to have that switch up and make the word sacrifices elsewhere, just so that way we get B&B and bed and breakfast, just for variety. Okay, so, and now that I'm the only real human left alive, I like that. Again, sorry about that. Oh, I like that because then we're directly referencing alive.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's still human. He's just dead.
Cut the end. And now that I'm the only real human left, well, we could cut the and. What do you think? What if we cut the and from there, but then we just added it to the sentence below? Now that I'm the only real human alive, again, sorry about that, it's kill or be killed, and I know what I have to do. So that didn't add or detract, but it's still, I prefer that shuffle.
It's still there.
My only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit and waiting for me to come out of hiding. That was a good suggestion, Laura.
I had thought of that one earlier. I'm glad Laura brought it back up because I had forgot about it. Now I know what I have to do. Burn the violet fields. No more flowers. No more bees. Luckily, you kept a flamethrower. Flamethrower in this greenhouse.
I love that. I think that's so perfect.
We're gonna keep flamethrower.
I like it so much.
My only obstacle is the queen. She's still wearing her skin suit and waiting for me to come out of hiding. What if we change it to like she's still wearing her skin suit, waiting for me?
I hear you. I like the thing about hiding because then it gives it just gives more sense of place, right? She's in this greenhouse, she's hiding, right? She's taking a moment to figure out her plan. I like the idea of messing with the general cadence though. Like she's still wearing her skin suit, skin suit, waiting for me to come out of hiding. What do you think about that? Get rid of the and?
Yeah. Still wearing her skin suit, waiting for me to come out of hiding.
Beatrice. I'm annoyed to see her sooner.
With a name like that. Fell in too easily. Too easily. Is he? I fell in too easy. Fell in too easily.
Too easily. Yeah. I think it is easily.
Easily. I had to say it.
Yeah.
Easily for her frail elderly woman act. But if I can keep her human, I might just have the upper hand. Like some weird. Could we change this to A?
Yeah, it's like weird. Yeah.
It's like a weird hypothetical mind game. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Would you rather be attacked by one evil grandma with a shotgun or nearly a million bees? Form of the evil grandma. This sounds great, actually. We could get rid of nearly.
Yeah.
Or we could do million.
But it's not millions of. I want to be scientifically accurate here. This was a calculation someone did for us in our last stream, and it was like 720,000 bees make up the same bodily weight as one average human person. And since she's an old grandma lady, we can assume it's not even that much because she's probably under average weight. So,
but
that's why
bees are bigger than their drones.
That's also interesting. Also, this is something that I was thinking about. It's like kind of like a plot hole. Is that like, is she one queen bee or is she millions of queen bees? Like, is it just one big queen bee? Like, I wasn't sure. But I was like, I'm not going to address that. We're just going to not address that.
We're going to hand wave that. Like,
I think we're at 501.
We are too. Nope, 500. You can keep it nearly a million bees.
I don't know what we got us over, but excellent. Okay.
It's probably the waiting for me to come out of hiding.
I think you're right. All right, let's read the last of it. I could have left. I'm a decent swimmer. I could have flung myself into the lake and swam to Canada, but they took Melissa, and at this point, I'm pretty sure they took my mom 20 years ago too. So fuck closure. I want revenge. I loved it. I think it's great. Thank you so much. Don't think about it too hard. Yeah, exactly. You were keeping track of it. Good job.
Laura's like, we're saving all these words.
Awesome. There it is. I don't think we need to do a final read through, but I did have one final activity. I know we're getting into three hours, but I have one final activity for us to do, but it shouldn't take too long. This, I'm pretty sure Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay was a short story that someone actually submitted to Fortnum & Mason and actually won the grand prize last year. So if people want to, I can share my screen. We can go over to Fort Mason and I can read it and we can compare and contrast notes.
Oh, yes.
What do you think?
I would love to do that.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Katie, for all of your help. Okay,
I love this. It's so fun.
I really enjoyed it.
This was a great
Fort Mason. Oh, this is it. Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay. Oh man, here we go. I have not read this. It's just FYI.
Ooh.
I wanted to save it.
I'm also sure, Laura, that Falls is way more entertaining.
Sorry. I don't know. So the one that I read the Icebreaker and I didn't like their interpretation of the prompt because it was very literal, right? You're meant to, well, technically I did not fulfill this in this story, but you're meant to mention chocolate. Oh my God, I mentioned bonbons.
Yeah, yes, bonbons.
And fudge. Okay, fudge. It totally counts. Excellent. You're supposed to mention chocolate in each of the stories. And I just felt like there was a prompt and the person for the Icebreaker literally like they just wrote exactly what the prompt was, that the ship broke down and they hung out with the like native people and had hot chocolate with them. And I was like, okay, fine. I didn't love it. But that's just that one person's interpretation. This is a totally different writer because it was the same contest and you're only allowed to do one submission. So the Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay. I need to make sure I know where it starts. Okay, I think it's up here. It was always quiet, but only ever deserted at night. People came to Salt Bay for the peace, the famous local honey, the views over the bay, and the restaurants by the water. But for the most part, because they had always been coming. Oh, that makes sense.
People.
Because they'd always been coming. First as children, then as parents, for as long as anyone could say. And to those families, Salt Bay was less a holiday destination than another month of the year, one that arrived in the middle of July and left in the middle of August. It was the start of July when the first incident took place. One of the cooks at the little Italian restaurant showed up on the cliff overlooking the shallowest part of the bay keeled over. 2 waitresses found him on the kitchen floor, knife still in hand, a dozen or more bees buzzing in slow, uneven circles about his head. 2 days later, the same thing happened to a man everyone knew as Gus, who worked the boats in the harbor and fixed anything that needed fixing. Oh, poor Gus. When they found him, there were bees buzzing in a lazy loop around the top of his sunburned head, too. Coroner's report said both died of natural causes. A week after Gus, the families full of familiar jawlines and cheekbones and slowly hyphenating old names began to arrive. As they pulled up to their holiday homes, there was talk of drinks at sundown and downwind mid-morning runs to the market and lighthearted threats that shop talk and work stress would not be tolerated here. The 2 men snuck away from their unpacking families to shake hands and stand around. One stopped mid-conversation at a faraway sound. "What's that?" Oh, should I say this in a British accent? "What's that?" asked a man in a polo shirt embroidered at the left breast. "It's a sort of buzzing, isn't it?" "It's a sort of buzzing, isn't it?" replied another man in a polo shirt, also embroidered at the left breast. "Someone mowing, I think. Shearing something, maybe. Or a rib on the water." Yeah. Thank goodness it's July, Harry.
Harry, I'm beyond glad to be out of the city. I'm so sorry to British people.
I love it. The buzzing noise grew a little louder, and both men scanned the horizon but saw no boats. They looked around for a lawn or a hedge or a bush being tended, but saw nothing. And crucially, neither noticed the small swarm drawing a woozy O about a dozen feet above them. Within minutes, both men were dead. 3 more men in polo shirts followed suit in the next 48 hours. This person really doesn't like Ralph Lauren.
They really don't. They're like, you know what? These people are going to die.
Yeah. And then the bees descended. At about 1 p.m. on a quiet Sunday, hundreds of thousands of bees, maybe millions, flew into a huge and messy formation across the sky over Salt Bay, turning the blue sky a moving shade of black. The noise was deafening. People ran from their homes, ran from their restaurant tables, ran from the beach and the sea, and scrambled to their cars and raced out of town carrying little or nothing of the things they had brought with them from the city, nor any of the famous honey they were intending to take back with them. Sorry, that was a really long sentence.
That sentence is literally a run-on.
Sorry, that just took me a second because I was running out of breath. In the hours and days after, mobile phones rang unanswered on kitchen tables until the batteries gave out. Or I should say mobile phones. On my
Mobile.
Candles on restaurant tables burned down to nothing. The only sounds were of the sea sighing back and forth, that's lovely, in the bay, and the low hum of the still circling bees overhead, their ranks now arranged more loosely, so rays of weak light broke through here and there. No trace of humanity remained. By now, word of the strange happenings at Salt Bay was spreading. A succession of news crews armed with cameras arrived to film, but none stayed longer than the few minutes it took to get the shots they needed. When the dull and persistent drone of the bees began to swell into a louder buzz, their nerves gave way, and then, quite suddenly, the bees dispersed. The sky overhead cleared to reveal Salt Bay still standing but completely deserted. In the summers following, the families have not returned. Nobody has. The businesses have shut their doors. Salt Bay honey, the few jars already in circulation at the time of the strange goings-on, is now considered one of the world's rarest and most sought-after varieties. The deaths of the men and the bees' oddly behavior remain officially unexplained. Ta-da! I liked it. It gave me very much the birds, right?
Yeah, it's very birds, very Hitchcock. My critique, though, is it's not particularly unique in the way that it's told. It's very, like, simplistic in its structure, which is not a bad thing. However, I personally, and maybe I'm biased, I think your take is a lot more interesting and a lot more fun to read as opposed to having the almost more literary fiction type thing.
I kind of enjoyed some of the phrases. I felt like the sighing sea, and I definitely at one point was going to have similar imagery of the sky literally turning black with bees. I just didn't remember.
It's also yours is a different type of story. The other one is an outside perspective, whereas yours is very introspective and very much about the person who is experiencing Salt Bay and their bees.
Yeah, it literally could be the exact same instance of something happening, and that the Fortnite Mason version is just told from a rich person who did escape, a tourist who did escape, and then my version is just told from someone who's hiding out as the sky is blackened by bees. Although, except they would have included that the violet fields had been burning because, well, unless we assume that our girl doesn't make it and that the bees...
Oh, that grandma with the shotgun shoots her.
I know. See, this is interesting. It's very documentary, and I think that is fair. I think that's fair. It's very like, this is what happened, and written in a lovely way, but this is what happened.
It is very documentary. Yeah, it's a very official tone.
So Crystal says that this comment is referring to my story. She says, I'm just going to say it. This story reminded me of a much sassier Goosebumps / Fear Street / Alan Wake, and I'm so here for it. Oh, thank you, Crystal. I'm glad. Wallace's was way better. My brain glazed over at the official one. I'm sorry I tried to read it in an entertaining way, but that's okay. Thank you, everybody.
The other one is the other one has, it doesn't have the pizzazz of and the snap of like it's more, it's not character driven. Yours is character driven.
That's fair.
Plot driven.
That's fair. Also, I apologize. Salt Bay's little iconicness never made it into this. Again, working within 500 words, I could have fit it in, but I felt like there were other things to cover. But I should have. It's just so iconic, and that is true camp. So I really should have worked harder to include it. But
such camp, literally the definition of camp.
This is interesting. It wasn't as peculiar, and that's fair. Although maybe peculiar means something different in England, and it just means, the way curious means interesting. Don't know. But yeah, so that is the conclusion to our saga of the Peculiar Bees of Salt Bay. Everybody, thank you so much for coming to both streams, if you came to both streams or just one or the other. And thank you a million times to Katie for dedicating 3 freaking hours of her life.
This is all I wanted in my life. This is what I wanted.
To editing 500 words.
I live for this. This is my favorite thing to do. So I got the degree in it for a reason.
Well, I really appreciated it. I really appreciated everybody's input. It was honestly, like I said, Breakfast in Bogota is always just going to be on another level for me, but this was definitely one of my favorite chocolate short stories as of yet. thank you for sharing all of your awesome suggestions, because you definitely, your DNA is all over this story as well, Penumbra. So as is everybody's. So yeah, Katie, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we can say goodbye 3 hours and 10 minutes later?
Yes, so I'm Katie Ann. Bye, Michael. I am a writer, obviously. It has been a blast. Thank you for having me on here. It was great to be pretentious with you for 3 hours.
Twas indeed.
It was, yeah. So, what am I going to plug? Well, we have our Troublemaker stream tomorrow, so 3 more hours of us.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to be streaming with Danny on Sunday.
Good Lord.
Time. We're going to be doing a poetry stream, so
That's
everyone
right.
should come do that. There'll be links in the bulletin board.
I'm excited.
Penumbra's a beekeeper.
I figured that 'cause she said the chickens and the bees, but yes, I have appreciated all of her or all of their fantastic input, because it felt
Also,
very fancy.
Their profile picture, the background is a honeycomb. Should have realized that.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yes.
I can't believe we never noticed that.
I know. And so right now. Oh, also, I had a new video go out 30 minutes ago.
Oh, I gotta go watch that. Oh, I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of an overview.
Yeah, it's a little
About
bit
what is about? What is it about?
As a teaser, it is about a new writing challenge that the lovely Miss Wallace helped me come up with, and I also stole a little bit. Well, she told me I could use the Bowl of Fate version of Chocolate Short Stories in my own way.
Yes.
So if you want that, you can go over and check out that video. I'm very proud of the editing, so that's me.
I'm doing that as soon as we end. So, all right. Thanks again so much to you and to everybody who joined us. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of their day. We'll see you hopefully at the Trouble stream tomorrow, and at Katie and Danny's and everybody's poetry stream on. Bye, everybody.
Bye.